Go tit.
Got it, yo.
Got it, yo. All right. Hey guys, peace, great to see you. Islam. I am Brother Hasan Ghaziel Bey here in Morocco at Northwest of Maxim. Happy Holy / Venus degree this Iloa Anail, right? And I'm here with my magnificent broski doski.
Sean Alim L, all is well. Like a Gemini, listen to the words of the telltale.
Namaste. Astro bars, right? All righty, guys. So look, this is what we're going to do. Music theory. Right before Brother Sean goes and does what he does and being the like super duper awesomest servant ever, right? When it comes to making sure you guys have what you need at restaurants there near the Kentucky, right? State Republic. Brother Sean is like the adept super server, front of house. You want your front of house to be lit, you want this brother on your squad. And that's if he decides to come on out and be the LeBron James of front of house. You know what I'm saying? That's how you feel me, right? All right, so here we go, right? Let's get right into this music theory thing, right? I'm just going to straight share my screen. Brother Sean, you know, it's multiple screens I can share or whatever, but I'm gonna share my whiteboard first. Then you can go and do your screen share second so that we're actually watching my whiteboard, but listening to your GarageBand. All right. So this is what we're going to do. Let's do some quick music theory. Because I told Brother Sean that I can teach music theory in about 10 to 15 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes, I can teach you guys music theory. No problem. You know what I mean? Like stuff you want to go to Berkeley for, you're spending like tons and tons of energy on tuition, right? I mean, I'm not knocking it. I would still love to, you know, go to Berkeley just for the experience, honestly, just to be around a bunch of musicians, like, you know, going to the astrology, you know, and being around the astrology community so I can hang with other astrologers. It's so cool. Being with other astrologers. Yeah. Anyway, all right, so let's get it going. Let's get it moving. First thing about music theory, right? Let's get two simple things, right? Let's just keep it simple. Let's do simple formulas. All righty. And let's just do, you know, common, easy things that we should know, right? All righty. First thing, guys, W equals whole step. W equals whole step. All right. Come on, computer. Let me close Sirius. Let me actually close Sirius. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure you guys get the most out of this. All right, let's do this now. Okay, so W equals whole step, right? Which is also called a tone. All righty, that's a tone. H equals half step, right? Now, this is, you know, I've been studying, you know, what they call music theory for a very, very long time. I mean, really technically since I was 3, when I really kind of think about it. However, you know, being aware about it, you know, really probably for about the last, 24 years or so. Semitone, right, is the half step, what it's also called, right? Semitone. So now, if you needed to know the major scale formula, right? That formula actually is, you're going to have a start key. I'll put SK for your start key, right? SK. And the formula is W, 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 H, W, 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 H, right? So, for example, if one had a piano roll in front of them. Correct? It's going to be my piano roll for today. And why am I doing it this way without, you know, something already done already? Because I want to show you guys that when I teach music theory, I can do it with a piece of paper. So our virtual or our meta piece of paper today, our meta piece of paper today is the whiteboard, all righty? So here's our meta piece of paper today, all righty? And guys, remember to join us around 1700 Eastern, that is 5 post-meridian Eastern. And we are actually having our special guest, Brother Amazight Bey, as well as Brother Hakim Bey, author and prepare for the Moorish paradigm, correct? All right, so this is our piano roll. So we know that this is, you know, C, this is D, this is E, right? This is F, right? This is G, right? A and B, right? And so we know this is known as C sharp, right? Or known as a D flat, right? And this is a D sharp, also known as an E flat. It really depends on the direction you're going in based on the scale. Same thing for this. This is a F sharp, or known as a G flat. This is a G sharp, also known as an A flat. And this is an A sharp, all right, also known as a B flat, all right? So if you were to do the C major scale, and the C major scale is, you start key would be C, and you need to go a whole step from the start scale. So a whole step from C is D. Why? Because a half step from C is D flat or C sharp. C to C sharp, D flat. We'll just call it C sharp. From C to C sharp from right now, from C to C sharp is only a semitone movement or a half step. However, from C to D is a tone, a whole tone movement or a whole step, correct? So if we were to play do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, because it's the start key, move a whole step. That's a move. So this is telling you how to move. The formula is telling you how to move, where to start and how to move. Start key, whole step, D, another W, E. Now we need to move a half step. There's no black key between, or there's no sharp or flat between E and F. So technically F is an E flat. I mean, pardon me, technically F is an E sharp and E is an F flat. Just like C would be B sharp, or B would be a C flat, because there's no sharp or flat between them in theory. So technically, since, and you know, when they say Alicia Keys' first album songs made in A minor, well, the relative minor to C major is A minor. So again, start key, right? For the major scale formula, start key, move a whole step, boom, that's the first W. Move another whole step, boom, that's the second W. Now we're at the first H, half step, boom. Now we need to move another whole step from F to G. Now we need to move another whole step from G to A. Now we need to move another whole step. That's our third, well, you know, the third W in the second set of Ws. Now we're going to B, and after B, guess what? You're back to C again, yet in the next octave, right? So technically, this would be your Roman numeral 1, right? Because the uppercase and lowercase would be, so you'd be boom, 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 C, E, G. So that would be your first, C, E, G would actually be your first major scale, C major scale chord. D, 1, 2, 3, right? D, F, A. So if I'm going 1, 2, right, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 keys right there. It's 2 whole steps from there. So this is how you know something is sharp. If it's the 1 key plus 4 semitones, right? We'll put semitones here. If it's 1 plus 4 semitones, then the 3rd key plus 3 semitones. Now what you have, hold on, and then this is the 5 key, pardon me. Then this is the 5 key. When you press that 1 key, which would be C, now we need to move 4 semitones. From C is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're on the E. Okay, so C, E, great. Now we need to move 3 semitones from E. 1, 2, 3. Oh, G, look, just like the first column says, C, E, G. That's how you get, this would be now the form, this is the chord. This is the major chord formula. All right. So we're going from D to 1, 2, 3, that's F. So that means if I switch this, if I do 1 plus 3 semitones, then the 3rd key plus 4 semitones, that's going to be minor. So this should be a lowercase 2. Because that's going to be D, F, and A. That's a D minor chord. Now E, 1, 2, 3, G, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a minor 3rd for E. No, the 3rd key is minor in the C scale, C major scale, which is E, G, and B. Now we come to the F, A, C, which gives us a major chord. So it's going to be a major 4, F, A, C, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, B to the D. That will be a G major in the 5th key in the scale of C major. G, B, D. A is minor, so we're going to make this a number 6. Minor, this is what Alicia Keys' album was made in. All righty, which is A, C, E. All right. See if I can make a better C there. A, C, E, right? B would be diminished. So it would be B, D, F. It's diminished. So it would be a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It'll be a lowercase 7. And you can do a circle like that to say it's diminished, right? To let you know it's diminished, actually. And it will be, and it's very dissonant when you press them together, the B, D, and F, because the diminished formula is the 1 key plus 3 to the 3rd key plus 3 to the fifth key, technically, because it would be your 5 finger. We're looking at the 5 finger theory with that, with 1, 3, 5. All righty, and then it's back to your major 1, right? C, E, G. And this is all you would need to make a song in C major scale. Now, Alicia Keys, you know, when it says songs in A minor, instead of us starting with C, we would take everything before A, right? This major number 1 to this major 5 and just put it over here. Or we take this A, B, and C and put it over here in the front. And then now you have the minor scale, the minor scale formula. So let me just write what the minor scale formula would look like. Minor scale, pardon me. Minor scale formula is whole step, pardon me, let me start with the start key. You should know that you need to have a start key. So we'll put S, K for your start key, whole step, half step, whole step, right? So it's like if I did the C minor scale, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, B flat, A flat, G, F, E flat, D, C. Basically, that's what it would really sound like or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Let's get the admit in here, right? For Brother Amazight, right? This is good. This is good timing. This is working out. This is going to overlap just great, right? So, so we went from the start key, we went a whole step, then a half step, and then from the half step, we went a whole step. So let me actually hit the backspace on that, pardon me. This is supposed to be whole step, right? So C to D to the E flat to the F, that is your whole step. Then you need to do another whole step, right? So we're doing another whole step, then a half step, and then 2 more whole steps. And that gives you your minor scale music formula, right? So that's how you'll be able to figure out the minor scale. And this is how you'll get, again, no sharps, no flats for A minor. So that's why you could play, you know, these chords, right? And instead of starting with the C major scale, so say you see how I got the major 1 here. So imagine, like I showed Brother Sean earlier, and Brother Sean's about to play this for you guys so you can actually see how this sounds. So I'm gonna give Brother Sean a major, a very popular formula that's used in major music. You know, when people make pop music, one of the popular ones is the 1, 5. Oh, you know what? 1, 5, 6, 4 is different. I gave you what at first? I gave you 1, 6, 4, 1, 6, 5, 4, right?
I think so, yeah.
All right, I gave you 1, 6, 5, 4. So let's go off of that. Let's go over off of 1, 6, 5, 4. Let's see how that goes. So let me hit the backspace and let them see how it sounds in major. 1, we'll do 6. It's a lowercase 6. 5. Right, and then 4 is also major also. All righty, so that's the code right here. 1, major 1, minor 6, major 5, major 4. All righty, so that means that Brother Sean is going to play C, A, G, F. C, A, G, F. And if you could, Brother Sean, just play C 4 times, A 4 times, G 4 times, F 3 times, back to the G on the 4th one for that one, and then back to the C. Could you do that for them, please? Now, I get what you just played there, right? Now, I know you're playing off of your typing keyboard. So let me give you what it would be on the typing keyboard. On the typing keyboard, I would want you to press the A key, right?
Mm-hmm.
The H key, the G key, and the F key. A, H, G, and F on your typing keyboard should actually be C, A, G, and F. See if it comes out like that. Yeah, now play A 4 times. H. Now on that F, do F 3 times, then G on the 4th one.
You said do G4, F3?
Like, check it out. A. I'm gonna say it on a typing keyboard. A, H, G, F, G, A. Perfect. Yeah, boom. That's a perfect loop. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you wanted to, now you could actually goodness gracious, you could actually instead of just having the melody playing there, what you could actually also do now is incorporate chords if you wanted to. Now on the typing keyboard, we know that your CEG is on your typing keyboard, the A, D, and G. So if you press A, D, and G on your typing keyboard right now, it should give you this the major, the C major chord. See that? That's a C major chord. All righty. So now, if we wanted to, for you now to press your A minor chord, just move your because right now you are doing CEG. Keep your finger on A and just move your other 2 fingers to F and H. Hold on, let me make sure that's right. Hold on, let me make sure I said no, pardon me. Move your, hold on. A, E, okay, just move your index finger from G to H. So you should be playing A, D, G on your typing keyboard and then A, D, H. So now play it in 4 combinations. Play that chord ADG 4 times and then play ADH 4 times.
ABG, ABH.
AD, Alpha David Gary. No, play them together. Yeah, but boom, 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 boom. Right. Now play ADH just like that. See how you just now went from C major to A minor. All right, boom. Now, boom. Now you just played 2 bars of chords, basically, right? So you just played 4 notes worth of the C major, 4 notes worth of the A minor. Now it's time to play the G major. So your G major is actually going to be, if you want, it's going to be your S key, your G key, and your J key. S, G, and J is your G minor chord. So write that down now. So now you have they're giving you typing keyboard codes. A, D, G. Second chord, A, D, H. Third chord, S, G, J. Should be S, G, J. Right? And then A, F, H. AFH is the last one on your typing keyboard. So now you should be able to play C major, A minor, G major, F major. So now play those codes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get it? Hold on, play your chords though. Play your chords. Yeah, play your chords so that the people can actually hear it. So you can, now you guys are hearing music because we're not guessing here. We have a formula that we can follow. We know what a whole step is. We know what a half step is. I showed you how to get the major scale formula. You pick a start key and the formula is whole step, half step, whole step, half step. You want to know what a chord is? A chord is choosing 3 keys. And you guys can see that we have Roman numerals under each key. So everything is coded in music for you to not fail. And once you have your 7 keys chosen from your start key and based on whichever formula you use, and it's many types of formulas to figure out the scale and the key, all righty? So the major scale formula, you see we have Brother Sean playing it. However, you also can see if people want to know, like Alicia Keys' first album, songs in A minor, well, she's making songs with the white keys because there's no sharps, no flats. Because C major is C major, but the relative minor, to C major is A minor. So it's gonna have the same makeup. It's just you're starting with the 6th key instead of the 1 key, as you can see, because A is the 6th key. All right. And that's when you start getting into Ionian, Dorian, Mixolydian, Lydian, things of that nature or whatever. However, Brother Sean, thank you so much, beloved brother, because I know you got to go. But thank you so much for proving that I can teach music theory in under 10, 15 minutes. Seriously. Yeah, guys, give me your tuition for Berkeley. I'll take that 40,000. Let me see.
That's the first one you showed me right there. Yes, it's simple.
I'm so glad you can actually share this. That's amazing that you can actually stream that. You know what I mean? So, about to get started, guys. I told you our Impromptu Improv is very special today. We have our special guest today. We have Brother Amazight Bey, as well as Brother Hakim Bey, guys. We are here today getting a load of trying to just really know what's going on with metaverse and figuring out how we can use it and all these things. However, like what I really wanted to do is just us introduce our special guests in a few. They're actually sitting here on the we're going to call it the chill side, right? They're chilling on the chill side because right here is where it get hot behind the scenes. Yeah, no, I'm just saying though, my man, like, look, man, we've been like checking out Moorish paradigm stuff, like definitely, like really intensively, like the last 14 to 21 days or whatever, just so everyone's like really, really familiar or whatever, because not everyone is just as familiar as I am, Brother Amazight, because me and Brother Amazight, we came in proclaiming our nationality on Brother Hakim's videos, all right? So that's just how it really is, like, for us. So and we just want to just make sure that, you guys are just getting a comprehension of what Brother Amazight is saying that he's in full support of, him working by the side of Brother Hakim Bey on this, developing the metaverse. And so, to give you guys a full comprehension of what it is, how it can be utilized for our benefit, you know what I mean? And not just, people thinking they're throwing their life away in virtual reality. And that's what I trust that we get through today. However, I do want to touch on just a few things, few questions, few receipts, and we won't take long on that. And then we'll turn the floor completely over to Brother Amazight, Ramundus Bey. And actually, we're going to turn it over to Brother Hakim Bey because we want him to be able to screen share. So I made it so everyone can actually screen share. So since it's Impromptu Improv, guys, it's, it's no, script or anything. So let me just make sure. Is Dun L you too, brother Hakim?
Peace.
Peace. I know your metaverse, beloved brother. Are you the Dun L one also?
You speaking to me?
Yes. Somebody's in here that says Dun L.
Yeah, that's one of our parcel owners inside MetaVerse-5.
Okay, cool then. That's okay, good, excellent. Well, what I will do, Brother Hakim, I'm going to actually feature you as well as and as you can see, you guys will be able to screen share when actually ready. But for right now, you can cancel your screen share. I'm going to make sure I do the wow, man, that's really cool, actually. That's actually pretty cool. But I wanted to kind of just get into a brief introduction or whatever, so that people can, I guess if you want, unless this is a choice of yours, you want this screen share up right now, Brother Hakim, and that's what you want to operate through. I kind of am catching the drift of that right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's fine then. So what I wanted to do, because we grew up on your, on your videos, you're doing the Moorish paradigm videos, and things of that nature. I mean, I learned about what a Portland map was through your videos. All right. Does that ring a bell when you going in on the port?
On what you said? On you learned what?
You was going in the first time I ever heard about a Portland map.
Oh yeah, the maps. Yeah, inside the Journal of Moorish Paradigm books that I have wrote.
Correct.
You familiar with the Journal of Moorish Paradigm, the 13 books, right?
Like, yeah, we've been reviewing them, going over them. I haven't, I'm be completely honest, I haven't dove back into them, but I just remember that like my first few years of, studying, your videos was a part of that selection. Once I got past C. Freeman L's videos and I was looking at Brother Taj's videos, your videos, Set and Ra's videos, a whole bunch of Cujo's videos, a whole bunch of different people's videos I was looking at that all was kind of resonating on the same energy that I was looking forward to. So that's why I was thinking, like, you remember when you had like the overhead projector in that video?
Oh, yeah. I remember those days. Yeah, that was before Zoom and all that. Yeah, we had to rely on those overhead projectors, and those things was heavy. I had like hundreds of those overhead projection slides.
Indeed. Well, without further ado, I'm going to let our audience know I'd like to welcome you, Brother Hakim and Brother Amazight, to our 7 Hill Star Impromptu Improv. It's unscripted, Brother Hakim. A lot of people been asking me personally about like, oh, where's Brother Hakim? What is he doing? I was like, I don't know. Once I was able to see what, in my maturation, so to speak, and making sure that I'm who I need to be and taking my place amongst the affairs of men, we on the same path, similar energy, you guys, we all kind of come, across each other. And so Brother Amazight was letting me know what work he was doing with you. And I just thought it was genius in terms of, people having a virtual place to really exercise who they are, in a space where they kind of like, it's like mock, exercise or whatever, and I really thought that was a beautiful thing to have a place where people could have, simulated practice pertaining to nationality and birthrights also. So that's what I was really looking forward to go in on. Now, we just got finished going over some music theory very briefly. However, we've been preparing and we've been waiting for you guys to come on in. So Brother Hakim, if you would like, you can go right ahead. I know that mostly this is about the metaverse. We're not going to really get into the work that you already have completed. I kind of already know about that. I just wanted people to kind of know and recognize that this is Brother Hakim Bey for the work when it comes to the Moorish paradigm. And like I said, I remember the videos with the overhead projectors and you was going over the Portland map. So I was like, okay, yeah, this will be really great. And, elders that we know in common, they call you a very brilliant mind, right? Shout out to Mother Rashida Bey, the Sayara of Great Seal. So I would like to also just yield the floor to you, Brother Hakim, and I thank you for gracing us with your presence. I yield the floor to you.
Islam, peace. And it's no rush, but if you want to, do something in the beginning or whatever, but if you want to take 15 minutes or give people a chance to come inside or whatever. I don't know how many people's here now. Is everybody here?
Well, really, inside the Zoom meeting, we're actually live on YouTube right now, right? So it's live right now on YouTube, actually, as we're speaking. However, what we do, it's usually me, definitely, but it's 4 other brothers that are part of Seven Hill Star astrology firm, right? So what I could do, I could go in on some astrology early, but people have been seeing the astrology I've been going over. We really made this like a special day for you guys, right?
All right, that's
so
good. I do got a lot to cover. I mean, a lot.
Let's get busy.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and cram it all in.
Let's get busy.
All right. Well, first, let me just go over here to the website real quick, just to give everybody a sort of overview and, you know, lead into the metaverse. Hold on a second. Let me just move this down a little bit. And let me just hide this toolbar here real quick, so it won't be blocking my view. I don't know if it's blocking everybody else's view.
No, it's not. I'm about to share this out. I'm about to do all my little posts and shares, so you're good.
All right, cool. All right, so let me just go back over here and go back to the website. So the website, first of all, let me just give a little context of where I come from. I know a lot of people who haven't seen me in a while. I've been involved with knowledge of self since 1981. So it's actually been 41 years now. And like they say, you know, the race is not to the swiftest, but to he who can endure. And when we dealing with knowledge of self and we dealing with the movement, it's more of a marathon than a sprint. You know, in a sprint, people just, you know, they just go all out right from the beginning. Hold on 1 second, I got a call coming in. Let me just mute this out. And yeah, it's more of a marathon than a sprint. And so over the 41 years or so, you know, I've seen a lot of people come and go. I've seen people come and burn themselves out and just disappear. You know, we used to call them 90-day wonders. They come in and for 90 days, they just spectacular. And then 90 days later, you wonder where they at, you know? And so you really have to pace yourself. And this is really for like the young people who's really getting involved now. You know, pace yourself. Don't burn yourself out, especially dealing with our people. Our people's are rough people to deal with. You know, like Don Elijah Muhammad said, you know, we are rough and stiff-necked people, you know, hard to lead in the right direction and easily lead into the wrong. You know what I'm saying? So without people, you got to have patience, you got to have endurance, and so on and so forth. And so going back, it was in 1981 where I really got into knowledge of self. Before that time, I was involved with all kinds of things, and I always had a desire to uplift my people. You know, when I was young, when I was about 5 years old, I got into magnetism. When I was about 7 to 8, I got into electricity. And I mean, I got into it. I mean, at that young age, I mean, my mother used to call me a little terror. Anything that was electronic in the house, I would take apart. Tape recorders, you name it or whatever, I'm taking apart speakers, I'm getting the magnets out of them. I mean, I was into it. But I was like a mixture of, I was like a scientist and I was running the streets at the same time. All right. When I was coming up in the Bronx in the 70s, after they broke down the movement in terms of the Black, you know, we had the Black Liberation Army, the Black Panthers, so on and so forth. And then as a result of COINTELPRO, you know, in the early, in the late 60s, early 70s, they broke it down. And so what happened in New York City specifically, everything broke down to gangs. You know, New York City became like gangland. And at that time, New York City was very ethnic. You know, you had Italian neighborhoods, you had Irish neighborhoods and so on and so forth. And so it was like in New York, you know, if you was in the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time, you might just catch a bad one. You know, that's how it was back then. You couldn't just be wandering all over New York like that, like it is now. You know, so in my neighborhood, every neighborhood, you see, at that time, all the neighborhood had gangs and block organizations or block associations. And in my neighborhood, it wasn't a matter if you was, my neighborhood was ruled by the Black Spades, the Black Assassins, And we had some peacemakers, savage nomads, savage skulls, and so on and so forth. But my block was mainly black spades and some black assassins. And at that time, it wasn't a matter if you was in a gang or not. You was in it. It was all a matter of what division was you in. All right. I first joined up and I was in the junior division of the spades called the Night Riders. And I was 8 years old at that time. And I was the warlord for the Night Riders at that age, you know. And so what happened was that this is before hip hop. What happened was that in the 70s or whatever, you know, we was into gangs and stuff like that. And what it is that young men, especially young males, have a lot of competitive energy, a lot of that energy. And if that energy is not utilized in the right way under the supervision of the elders for the community, it'll harm the community. They'll use it to, you know, compete with each other in terms of gangs and so on and so forth. And that was what was happening in the early 70s and the mid 70s and the Bronx, where I grew up, in the Bronx. And so it's almost as if like we had to find another form of competition.
And this is prior to you meeting Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Let me just basically say,
oh yeah, I'm talking about like 73, 74, 75. You know what I'm saying? This is like way back then. At that time, you know, in the community, like 9 out of 10 brothers and sisters in the community didn't even know who the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was. You know, most of the elders in the Moor Science Temple of America, it was more like a church with them. They would get together on Sunday, and they wasn't really out in the community. We didn't even know who they were. You know, we didn't know nothing about that, you know, coming up. And so almost as if we had to find another form of competition amongst one another. This is where hip hop came in. And hip hop kind of saved the day and saved a lot of us. And what happened was that we channeled that competitive energy from the gangs into hip hop. And so the gangs broke down into DJ crews, centered around a DJ. And then you had MCs. The MCs were mainly there to big up the DJ. The DJ was the main centerpiece. And then you had the MCs around that would just, you know, big up the DJ, big up the neighborhood, and so on and so forth, you know. And so, but we developed our own subculture. See, we were different from our parents. Our parents, coming the baby boomer generation, you know, they was all into integration and trying to rub shoulders with these Europeans and so on and so forth. We wasn't into that. We was like, man, forget them. We don't want to have nothing to do. We got our own culture, our own subculture. We had our dance form, our music form, the breakdancing. We had our music, which was the hip hop. We had our art form, which was graffiti. We had our own clothing form, from which you got the Star Wars. You see what I'm saying? We had our own slang, our own language. We had our own subculture. That's all we cared about in the early days of hip hop. I'm talking about this is in the Bronx. This is before hip hop wasn't even in Brooklyn yet. I'm talking about this was just the Bronx. This is the reason why they call it the Boogie Down Bronx. Because the Boogie Down Bronx, everybody in all the boroughs used to come to the Bronx to go to parties. Even my uncle and them from Lower East Side, they used to go to parties up in the Bronx. So it was called the Boogie Down Bronx. And this is where the hip hop began. All right, going back into the days of Kool Herc, DJ Mario, so on and so forth. We was young, but we sensed something was going on. We didn't know the full deal. You know, I grew up around Burnside Avenue, Morris Avenue, the Bronx. Kool Herc, DJ Kool Herc, you know, who we called the father of hip hop at that time. You know, he was doing parties on Burnside Avenue and different parts of University Avenue, so on and so forth. And then later on, you had Bambaataa, who we called the king of records. You know, he had Chinese records with beats. You know what I'm saying? So we was just strictly just b-boys. We was just like little rugrats. We would get our crew together. At that time, everything broke down to crews. You know, so at that time, where I grew up, Boston Road, Gun Hill Road, you know, we was down with the Boston Road crew, centered around the DJ Breakout, and the Funky 4+1 MCs from around there and Eden Wall Projects.
When you say Boston Road, most people know that, I think, if correct me if I'm wrong, that's Route 1. It like runs all the way
Yeah,
north.
yeah, it go.
All right.
We didn't know that at the time, but yeah, Boston Road goes on and on and on and on. Like we used to say back in the days, it goes on. You know, so we used to just gather up our crew, you know, on any given day, and then we used to just go to other neighborhoods, other hoods, and just battle different breakdances. We would form a big circle. You know what I'm saying? Somebody have a boom box, or we set up a little set in the park. We have our strobe light, and the B-boys used to form a circle and go down. I'm gonna speak about this a little bit later on. All right, so fast forward. So at that time, the South Bronx was burning down. At that time, the South Bronx, where I lived at, it was like literally every night a building would burn down. Building down the block would burn down. And what it was the Jewish landlords was hiring arsonists, paying arsonists to burn the buildings down so they could get the insurance money.
Sick.
And so it was crazy. So I remember going to sleep at night and be like, man, I hope my building is not next. I lived right above the boiler room. I'm like, I hope they don't torch my building tonight. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was. It looked like somebody dropped a neutron bomb in the Bronx. Buildings was just burned. You might have a block on that whole block. It might just be one building with people living in it. Everything else is burned down. And this is how we was growing up. It was just rough. It was like everything was burnt down, like Melly Mel's record, The Message. You know, broken glass everywhere. You know, we little kids running around. We finding bullets all over the place and dope needles, and that's just how it was. You know, so everybody where I lived at in the South Bronx moved up into the North Bronx. And so when I moved up to the North Bronx, like the whole everybody I knew moved up into the North Bronx. And so that's how I was at that time. So we coming up now, up in the North Bronx, and then all of a sudden, the 5%er movement takes over the whole neighborhood. The 5% movement took over whole communities, whole neighborhoods. It's like when it came in your neighborhood, if you wasn't down, you had a hard time. You was considered the 85%. And 85% didn't have a good life. You know what I'm saying? You about to get beat up any day, anytime. You know what I'm saying? And so, but that's how it was. And so, but it created a tradition in New York of street lessons. Not too many cities had that. See, what happened was that Clarence 13X, who we refer to as the father, he was a member of the Nation of Islam at that time, Mosque number 7. And he said, you know what? Because we had to break down of 5%, 10%, and 85%. We said 85% of the people are blind, deaf, and dumb. 10% of the people keep them blind, deaf, and dumb. And the 5% represented the poor, righteous teachers whose job it was to re-educate the 85%. So what happened was that early on, Clarence 13X in the 60s, he realized that you had that breakdown within the Nation of Islam itself. You had a 5%, an 85%, and a 10%. And the 85% of the people in the Nation of Islam, they never got the lessons and the teachers coming out of the Department of Supreme Wisdom. And so what Clarence 13, and you had the 10%, which he referred to as the ministers, and then you had the 5% was him and those ones who went into the Department of Supreme Wisdom, took those lessons and teachers and brought them into the streets and gave it to the babies. This is why we refer to him as the father. And so he gave all these lessons to us in the streets. So in the streets back in that time, you had crazy lessons and teachers circulating in the streets, plus degrees, everything. First, you had to master your 120 degrees, which was the basic lessons. Once you mastered the 120 degrees, now you was open up to get the plus degrees, the plus lessons. And these lessons were given to us by those in the communities known as enlighteners. So you will have an enlightener. He would give you your lessons, test you and quiz you on your lessons. And then once you pass that, he would give you the plus degrees. So I remember at that time, I had like a shopping bag, about 12, 18 inches high, full of lessons, just lessons. Xerox copied it like a billion times. Half of them, you couldn't even read them. They was Xerox copied so many times. but we had all these lessons. You had scientists that was in the jails and the prisons, and it was like a monastery for them. They was writing crazy lessons on the mothership, magnetic lines of flux, General Muk, how he ran the doubles across the hot Arabian desert into the caves of West Asia or Europe. U means the hillsides, and rope was the rope to bind them in. We were little kids, but we had deep lessons in our hands. All right. So we coming up in the 5% Nation of Gods and Earths, right? And then at that time, formed within the Nation of Gods and Earths, what they called the Bey and Ale cipher. And so I got the Holy Crown of the Moor Science Temple in 1981. In 1983, I got C.M. Bey's works, Clock of Destiny 1 and 2, and Circle of Life in 1983. This was the Bey and Ale cipher. This was the introduction to us to the whole movement to the Prophet and the Prophet's movement at that time. It didn't come from the temple at that time. It came from the streets. The Bey and Ale ciphers, and we circulated those C.M. Bey's works and stuff amongst ourselves. All right, so fast forward a little further, right? So in 81, you know, I got knowledge of self. You know, at that time, my name was Hakim Shabazz Allah or Hakim Ra Allah at that time. And we had the lessons and everything. And so I began teaching at that time. You know, I used to walk around, you know, we didn't have laptops and all that stuff at that time. I had a big folder just full of all kinds of clippings, everything. I used to read National Geographic magazines. I was teaching. I'll get on the corner and have a big circle around me. And I'm just kicking it with all the young brothers. They're like, yo, what you into? Because at that time I was running the streets. Before I got into with the 5%ers, you know, we were scrambling, we were selling, so on and so forth. And so then when I got into the 5% Nation, and I'm wearing the kufi with the tassel on it and everything, and my friends was cracking up at first. I come out on Boston Road, and they're like, yo, what you dealing with? What you into? You know, they laugh and making jokes and all that stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But then when they seen I was serious, they started coming to my house. Yo, what's those lessons? I gave them a message to the Black Man by Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and they started coming to me, asking me about the teachings, you know, and they seen that I was serious, you know. And so fast forward a little further, you know, I graduated from high school. Finally, I didn't think I was gonna make it, but then I ended up going to Lehman College, Queensborough College in Queens. And I was still kind of wild though at that time, even though I just started college, but you know, we was like in my neighborhood, we was kind of buck wild. All of us carry guns. We carry guns to school. Every day I was in college, I had the gun right there in my vest pocket, bullet in chamber. That's how we was rolling at that time. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, you know, all these different and at that time, when hip hop first came out, this is before I started college, you know, like I said, it wasn't even, I remember when I went to high school art and design, we had brothers, what we did at lunchtime, we pushed our tables together, and we had brothers from Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Harlem, everywhere. We just had like one long table. We all sat there, and I used to bring tapes from the Bronx of hip hop, Bambaataa, Breakout, The Echo Chamber, Busy Bee, Starsky, brothers from Queens and Brooklyn. They was like, yo, what's this? They used to make a big circle around me at lunchtime, and I used to just be like, yes, y'all. We used to have the crazy beats and stuff like that. I used to sell tapes. And so this is how the movement was starting, right? So when I first started Queensborough College, it was like a lot of gods. I wasn't in the 5% Nation at that time. We had a lot of brothers from Brooklyn, Jamaica, Queens, and so on and so forth, and they was into it. So I used to sit there with them and listen to what they were saying. I was intrigued because they was talking the language, using the supreme alphabet, you know, now cipher, God, da, 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 da. I'm like,
what's the day's mathematics, God?
Today's mathematics, yeah. Oh, man, if you didn't know your mathematics, I've seen kids catch it if you didn't know your mathematics. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, yo, what they into? So that summer, 81, I had a dream.
I wasn't even born yet, Brother Hakim. I wasn't manifested until 84. So you're
all
definitely...
right. See,
you're giving... I ain't gonna front. I love the receipts you're giving right now, man.
Yeah,
Please keep giving the receipts right now.
I want to give the context. I want to give the context where I'm coming from.
Give the
receipts. You know what I'm saying?
Please.
I didn't just drop out the sky with all this. You know what I'm saying? This is the whole context. You know what I'm saying? So
it's love.
81, I had a dream. And in the dream, you know, I'm bagging up, ready to go out, start scrambling and everything like that. So I grab my boom box, I go out, brothers are on the basketball courts playing and everything like that. So I go, I'm like, who got next? Who got next? You know, that's how we was back in the days. I put my box up on the ledge, you know, waiting to get next. Then all of a sudden, they interrupted the radio broadcast. They said, we interrupt the radio broadcast. World War III has just begun. I was like, what? I looked up. All of a sudden, I seen planes flying in formation, like, I was like, yo, people was running through the streets, screaming. People was terrified. People was having heart attacks. It was crazy. Wow. Next thing I look, a missile drops right in the yard right next to me and is halfway sticking out the soil, ticking. And I'm like, oh man, this is it. This is the end. This thing is about to blow. I was thinking about all the bad things I was doing and getting involved. I'm like, I'm going to hell, right? And I look up in the clouds, right? And I seen all the faces of all my uncles, all of them that I was trying to teach us back in the days, the lessons. I seen their faces. And I was like, what? You mean to tell me they had the truth all the time? And I was like, oh man, it's too late. You mean to tell me they had the truth all the time?
Not to cut your wisdom, because I know everybody can see me as you're telling this, you know, you giving the receipts, and I'm sharing and promoting right now as you're giving your receipts. I'm doing my best to share it out on Facebook, Instagram, anywhere I can share it. So anybody thinking I'm not listening to Brother Hakim, I'm advertising. We doing our own advertising while he giving y'all the receipts. All right, go ahead, Brother Hakim.
Indeed. Because I want people to see, and I want the young people to see, you know, this whole evolution. You know what I'm saying?
I'm on the edge of my seat, man. This is a treat, man. This is a treat. That's why I ain't saying nothing yet.
I'm a natural storyteller. So, you know, I woke up from the dream and I was shook. You know how you wake up from a dream and it's so real, you just shook? So I was like shook. My heart is beating. I ran to the window to look out the window to see if the bomb was still inside the soil ticking. That's how real it was. And when I didn't see it there, and I started to realize it was all a dream, I was so happy. I was like, it was like I had a second chance. I was like, what? I called up my cousin Moon to Kim that day. I said, listen, you still got those lessons? He said, yeah. I said, I want them. I'm coming over there right now. From that day, I never forget, August 3rd, 1984, from that day, my life changed. And I never looked back. I changed my name to Hakim at that time. And my name has been Hakim for 41 years now. All right. And so that's how it started. So I got involved and I was into it for our people. When I was young, when I was about, I guess I must have been about 7 years old or so, I read a whole encyclopedia. Because my cousin, she had an encyclopedia in her house, but they never used it. It was sitting there. So I was scared to ask her, but finally I got up enough courage. I asked her, I said, are you using that encyclopedia? It was like a beautiful science, you know, encyclopedia for young kids. I said, are you using that encyclopedia? She said, no. She said, you want that? She said, you can have it. I was so happy. I took that whole set. It was about 20 books. And I read through that whole encyclopedia. That's how I messed up my eyes also, because at night, my mother would put us to bed and I'm still trying to read the encyclopedia at night. So I used to turn on the bathroom light. And yeah, I used to read the whole encyclopedia from the light from the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? But I learned so much about science, about race, about this and that. And one thing I hated though, when I read the encyclopedia and they talked about 3 races, Mongoloid, Caucasian, Negroid, right? And I didn't like what they were saying about us. I knew we was greater than what they were saying. I said, man, one day I'm gonna find out the truth about us because I know they lying. right? And so I'm coming up now. We in the North Bronx, and I go to junior high school. And at that time, we was being bused to junior high school and in a European neighborhood. So we had enough static. I mean, it would be days where there would be like grown men surrounded the school building with sticks, baseball bats, pipes, everything. And the cops had to come to escort us. We had crazy static with mainly Italians at that time. And so we was constantly fighting with them. And so coming up in that context, I mainly, in my neighborhood was like 95% Asiatic. And so I didn't really deal with Europeans. I just dealt with our people, and we was into hip hop and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't have a good relation with them. But when I was in junior high school, I had to take world history. And I had a Jewish teacher named Mr. Lazarus. And he used to teach, when he was teaching about Africa, man, it was a mockery. And all these other European kids, they used to make fun. They'd be like, oh, all y'all do is y'all be in the trees, unga bunga and all that stuff like that. And they used to be making all kinds of fun of us inside the history class. And I didn't have the facts at that time. But man, I told them European kids every day, I'd be like, when the bell rings, you're going to get yours. And when the bell would ring after class, I used to line them white boys up against the wall and just go to the line, boom, 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 beating them up, right? No other brothers and sisters in the school, they must be like, every day he's beating them up. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I knew at the time. I didn't have the facts. But I said,
I'm trying not to laugh.
You know what I'm saying? I said, man, it used to be funny because they'd be making fun of us during the class. I said, when the bell rings, right? So about 7 minutes before the bell rings, they start trying to make friends with me. Like, yo, we just joking. We only playing. I see, yo, you gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? The bell rings. I used to line them up, you know what I'm saying? And let them have it, But I said, one day I'm gonna find out the truth, right? So just check out how things work. So time goes on, right? I graduated from college. I started as an accountant, general accountant. My degree was in accounting and business administration, right? Wow. And so started off as an accountant, but I hated it. I'm not an office type of person. And so on my breaks, I used to go on the staircase and I used to say, please, Allah, take me from here. I don't want to be here. I just want to be with my people. I don't want to, this is not me, And so finally, I just quit that. I couldn't take it no more. But I just had this kind of energy about me. I remember I had a woman who was a Jewish woman supervisor. And she felt my energy. One time I went in there and was talking with her, and her Star David necklace she had on just broke and fell on the floor. And she just turned red. She was so embarrassed or whatever. But I knew it was my energy that caused that, right?
Correct.
And so I left there. And I went into teaching. At that time in New York City, they said, if you have a degree, a bachelor's degree in anything, you could teach. I said, that's what I'm gonna do. So I left there and I started off as a substitute teacher in New York City Board of Education. And being a substitute teacher in New York City is rough. I mean, it was like, by that time I had joined the Nation of Islam. Because when I graduated, I said, man, I wanted to use my degree for my people. I said, what's the best place I could go? Best way I could use it for my people? Join the Nation of Islam. So I signed up with the Nation of Islam. I went to Mosque number 7, right in Harlem, the same mosque that Malcolm X taught in. Farrakhan came up through that same mosque. So I was under the tutelage of those elders, Brother Bert Muhammad. They had the Military Science Academy. I came right into the Military Science Academy. And they said, if you had a degree, they put you in a professional corps. So they put me in the business corps. And
I think that's the rest of the, whoever is a part of the metaverse experience. There's a few of you guys in here on the side.
Hold fast. I'm gonna get to it.
Yeah, no, I know you are. I'm just letting them in so you're hearing the doorbell because I don't recognize it. So I'm like, this must be the squad. This is the MetaVerse squad coming in. So all right, I yield. Go ahead, brother.
We gonna get into it. We gonna get into it. All right. Indeed. So anyway, I'm learning knowledge of self and everything. And I'm substitute teaching. And guess where I taught at? The same junior high school that I went to. And guess what teacher was still there? Mr. Lazarus, the one that was teaching about world history and making a mockery. Oh man, I got him back. I went in that school, substitute teacher. I was teaching these young brothers and sisters about their history, everything. They was like, it was crazy. The whole school, they started changing their names. They was wearing kufis. They was like, the teachers in the teacher conference room, they was like, oh, this Mr. Bey, he's turning all the students against us. And I didn't even have to confront that teacher. My students went and kicked his butt. They was talking about how the Egyptians was Asiatic and this and that. My students, I didn't even have to say it. I had to say a word. The students let them have it. And so I came full circle right back and got his butt back. I said, one day I'm gonna find the truth and I'm gonna get him back. Sure enough. All right. So anyway, fast forward.
Truth is stern. It don't change and it don't pass away. So that's what that was.
Divine Lord. My whole neighborhood, they started getting, what are all the young people? They wearing kufis. They like, Mr. Bey, I changed my name, this and that. It was crazy. But at that time, I took a cassette tape because we had Walkmans at that time. And one of the young kids was playing it in the classroom. So I took the Walkman and the tape from him. But at the end of the day, I forgot to give it back. But you know what tape it was? NWA, gangster rap. It was the first time gangster rap was coming into New York. Now, mind you, New York, we just got past all that gangster stuff. So I was, in my mind, I was like, oh man, don't tell me these kids are gonna get back gangster stuff again. Sure enough, I took that, and this is right at the time when the crack epidemic started. And so the crack epidemic was crazy. It devastated the whole movement. At that time, I was selling books on 125th Street, right across from the Apollo Theater. I had 5 tables of books about this, about that. As a matter of fact, you see in New York, they sell all the books now. I was partly responsible for that because my last year of college, I did a research paper on street vending in New York City. And I got all the laws and stuff like that. And I found out that if you vended books, strictly books, you didn't need no vendor's license, nothing under the First Amendment. So when I found that out, I was like, what? I was out there on 125th Street with 5 tables of books about our people. And the cops came on 125th. They came to me. They were moving all the vendors and putting all the stuff in the paddy wagon. So they came to me and they said, pack up your stuff. I said, I'm not packing up nothing. I said, I got the right to be out here. I don't need no vendor's license like that. Right? And so they was like, what? And so the captain came over and I told him I had my paperwork and everything like that. And captain told his men, move on, leave him alone. All the vendors was like, what? What you dealing with? They all came to me. Even the cops from the Gardening Association, the brothers, they was like, yo, we got your back. And they came and even brought books from me. So that's how I started off on 125th Street. And whenever they would round up the vendors, they come to me. And especially if it was a young cop, I said, you must be a rookie. You must not know. I ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And I stood right out there. I stood my ground. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you're enforcing, if I may add to your wisdom, and just you telling, and giving that wisdom, you're saying ultimately you're enforcing the first and fourth Bill of Rights. One, for you to, exactly. Express your religion without it being prohibited. So this is going to paraphrase, you're expressing your speech and press. Yep. Also, you have the right to petition the government for redress of grievance, provided they strip you of that right to do so you can be redressed. But Bill of Rights 4, because you have the right to be secure in your person, houses, papers, and effects. And that's exactly what they were asking you to pack up when they've sworn an oath to actually uphold that which they was bound.
Right, they was bound by that. I learned right then to hold them to what they are bound by. You see what I'm saying? And so I was presenting to them that which they was bound by. And so they kept trying to get me, especially this one named Rodriguez from the 27th precinct. And so he's like, yeah, but your tables are too long, it's too big or whatever. I said, nope. I said, according to this code right here, it could be 3 by 15 feet, the button, the curb, and then he was pissed. He just had to just leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just giving y'all the whole context. So, but this is before I was even with the Moors. So one of the Moors kept coming to me, Brother Alim. He kept trying to get me into the Moors, right? But into the Great Seal. But at that time, the Great Seal had it so that you had to come through the temple and had a nationality card in order to get the Great Seal. But I didn't want to go through the temple at that time. To me, I didn't want to get involved with quote unquote religion at that time like that. I didn't want to deal with it. So then I didn't get to the Great Seal at that time. But then one day he said, Brother Hakim, I got something I know you're gonna like. He said the Circle of Mothers and Sons from Cleveland, Ohio, they teaching a course. And Brother Rami, who was the Amir at that time of the Great Seal, he said, if you get their certificate, you could get into the Great Seal using that as opposed to the nationality card. So I took the course, came through it, got a certificate, and then joined the Great Seal. And then at that time, by that time, I was so much into the Moors, I was publishing books on the Moors and selling them at my table. And so Brother Rami made me the Wazir at Talim for New York City, the Minister of Education. And he said, and I put together a certificate course, and he said, all those who want to come in, if they present your certificate, they could join the Great Seal. So at that time, I had brothers and sisters coming from all the movements, because I was on 125th Street, so I was exposed to all aspects of the movements. So I had 5%ers coming through the course, Hebrew Israelites, Rastas, Orthodox Muslims, you name it, they was coming through, Black nationalists, all of them was coming through the course and joining the Great Seal. But some of them they was misled. They thought it was all about tax exemption, being tax exempt and stuff like that. And so you had a lot of cops and correction officers was trying to come through the course too, in order to be tax exempt. And I told them, I said, listen, this is not about that. This is about uplifting fallen humanity. You see what I'm saying? It's not about tax exemption. But at that time in New York, it's like we was the new Moors the prophet spoke about. He said there will come new Moors who will come in with their eyes already wide open, seeing and knowing, and they will take you old Moors, put you in the back seat, and they will carry out my law. So we knew.
For the record,
to
add to your wisdom, for the record, just not to cut it, I will say, hearsay is inadmissible in court. However, what you're saying right now in the history that you're giving lines up so much with what Mother Rashida Bey has shared with me when I'm getting the history on Great Seal. So
I remember Sister Rashida. I remember Sister Ross, Sister Rashida, Brother Taj. We used to all go to the meetings together. We used to all go to the Great Seal meeting together.
All this stuff is lining up because I'm getting a lot of the history. I got access to a lot of the documentation.
We used to call Sister Rashida. We used to call her Sister Zodiacal. At that time, we was coming up.
It's funny too because look, she just texted me because I texted the day Happy Holy Degree, and right before we got on, she texted me. What I mean? Mother Rashida Bey texted me. Yes, I was
shout out to Sister Rashida, no doubt. Shout out, shout out to Brother Taj, Sister Rod. Brother Taj, Sister Rod. We was the first ones publishing pamphlets and books on the Moors. At that time, we was publishing.
That's how I saw it when I declared and proclaimed my nationality. Like I said, after them C. Freeman L videos, at the 3 months of studying C. Freeman L videos and being on RV Bay, somebody was like, yo, you need to watch Taj videos.
I used to hook up with him every time I used to lecture in Atlanta in '95. Every time I used to hook up with C. Freeman L.
While I was watching Brother Taj's videos, I would come across your videos, and that's when I really started getting into geography because you brought up the Portland maps.
This is the history. I gotta give y'all this history so y'all know.
So I yield. Now check it.
At that time, I'm lecturing, I'm teaching New York City. All these brothers are coming through. At that time, Malachi Z. York. At that time, we knew him as Imam Isa from Brooklyn, the Ansar community. And at that time, they must have started giving him my tapes or something. He started talking and saying stuff like, yeah, that Brother Hakim Bey, talking about we all more, talking somewhat negative. and people used to bring it up to me, and I didn't say a word. I just knew I had his ear. Even though he was saying negative stuff, I knew I had his ear. And I told the other brother, I said, watch, it's just a matter of time, right? So a year later, they have a New Year celebration, and they all wearing fezzes. I said, watch, brother. I said, it's just a matter of time. That summer, they sent a contingent to my house to come through the course. They come through the course, and then shortly after that, or something, they knew Wabi and Moors. I'm just giving y'all the history. I'm just telling y'all the truth. This is real. This is facts. All right. Everybody was getting with the Moors at that time. Everybody was getting with it. Even Minister Khalid Muhammad. Let me tell y'all something about Minister Khalid. So I was in the Nation of Islam prior to the Moors, and you know I got a good reputation within the mosque. You know, you knew me. I was like a lieutenant from the Bronx, but I was real reliable. And so any officials, Minister Akbar, any of them come in, they would send me to pick them up. The MGT, the older women, they had to go home. But we need you to take them all the way to Far Rockaway. They would come and get me. So when Minister Farrakhan came and brought Minister Khalid into New York City, who did they send to pick him up and take his family around the city? Me.
So you were Mufti. You were the Mufti, basically.
I was doing security. I had to drive his family around, the whole 9 yards. His little son, Farrakhan, with the little bald head, I had to drive them around. So I got kind of close to Minister Khalid Muhammad, right? Mm-hmm. So also Minister Conrad Muhammad. So when I left the mosque at that time, because at that time they stopped the Military Science Academy class, and that was the best thing going for me in the Nation of Islam. So one day I'm driving Minister Akbar, who's the minister for the nation in Africa, and I'm kicking it with the secretary in the car and everything, right? I'm driving him, right? And Mr. Akbar turned to the secretary. He said, who's this brother? He said, you hear this brother? He said, brother, he said, take what you just said tonight, put it in proposal format, and give it to the captain and to the secretary for the Military Science Academy, like a proposal. So I drew it up, gave it to them, right? I gave it to the secretary, and I gave it to the captain. And and in my mind, I drew up an ultimatum. I said, if they get with this, I'm gonna stay. I said, if they don't do it, I'm gonna leave the Nation of Islam. And so I go to the secretary. I said, so secretary, what do you think about what I gave you? Oh, well, it's not up to me. It's up to the captain. I said, but at least let me know what you think about it. It don't make no difference. It's not up to me. It's up to the captain. I said, all right, I can see where this is going. You know what I'm saying? So he said, go see the captain. I go see the captain. The captain's like, I like your proposal and everything, but we just don't have the time right now because we got to do this, da-da-da. I said, all right, boom. And I called up Minister Conrad Muhammad right there on 125th Street, met with him in the car, and let him know that I was leaving. And he tried his best to convince me to stay or whatever, but I end up leaving. You see what I'm saying? And so, you know, but all the brothers knew me. So I thought I was gonna have problems, you know, with all the ones that was still in there, but they was all cool with me. All the ministers, all the FOI, they all knew me, and they knew my sincerity. And so they never questioned, they never challenged it. They just accepted my decision. I was surprised. I thought I was gonna have to, you know, constantly be like explaining this and you know,
defending yourself because people were going off of here.
You know what I'm saying?
Like that. Yeah.
You know, a lot of these organizations, it's easy to get in, but it's hard to get out. You know what I'm saying? Like even the gang, you know, blood in, blood out. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so Khalid Muhammad comes by, and Khalid, I had my 5 tables on 125th Crown Apollo Theater. Every time Khalid drove his Rolls Royce down 125th Street, he would stop by, hey, but I can throw me his keys to the Rolls Royce and ask me if I could park it for him while he going, because parking is rough in Harlem. While he going to Mark 125, you know, to get a lunch or whatever, he throw me his keys, I jump in the Rolls Royce and go park. That's how much confidence Khalid had in me. I mean, How many people will throw you the keys to a Rolls Royce and tell you to park it in New York City? You know what I'm saying? Anything can happen. You know, so anyway, I'm out there, right? And there's another elder. We used to call him Brother Ramza. I forgot his prior name of Brother Wayne 5X or something like that. I got to run it to my tongue. Anyway, Brother Ramza always challenged me. He was one of them elders that he would challenge you. So he used to see me out there with the fez on, right? He said, "What's that on your head, bro?" You know, challenging me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm kicking it. You know what I'm saying? He said, "All right."
Yeah.
Walk away, nod his head. But he was the jewelry maker for the Nation of Islam. He's the one who made Farrakhan's ring. He made Minister, when you see Minister Khalid with that ring with the star and crescent, he's the one who made it. He's also, I didn't know till after he passed, he was the one who got the whole prison program for the Muslims throughout the whole nation. This is the same brother. Brother Ramza never told me all that. But he got his ex the same night Minister Farrakhan got his ex in 1955. He was well known within the Nation of Islam. So anyway, one day we were on 125th Street, right?
Correct.
And Minister Khalid comes by the table. We talking for a little while, and then a group of us, me and a group of Moors, because at that time by my table we had pure feathers and turbans around my table. So Mr. Khalid loved the Moors for some reason. So he come by and we all go up into Mark 125 to get lunch. So we sitting there eating lunch, and Brother Ramza comes up in there, and he's over there kicking it with Minister Khalid because they go way back too, right? So all of a sudden, the brother comes running up into the Mark 125. Brother Hakim, about 10 cops got your car surrounded, because at that time I had the Moorish tags on my car.
Correct.
At that time. And so he's like, the cops, they got your car surrounded, right? So all of us, Mr. Khalid, Muhammad, Brother Ramza, all of us go downstairs to find out what's going on. I come downstairs and all these cops is around my car, and the captain's out there with the white shirt and everything. He's out there too. So I had all my paperwork on my clipboard. I showed the captain all my paperwork, The captain looks at it. He said, "Looks fine to me, sir. Have a nice day," and told his men to move on. Everybody was like, "Yo, what?" Mr. Khalid Muhammad was like, "Brother, what you dealing with?" He said, "Brother, here's my personal phone number. You have to step me up through this more stuff step by step." That's what Mr. Khalid said. Shortly afterwards, that's when he made that lecture where he said, "I'm a Moor." It was right after that incident.
So Minister Khalid, as you're referring to, and if what people would probably know, because I know why you're referring to him, is that, and me taking my Kalima Shahada with Muhammad's Temple of Islam #1, even though it wasn't with Farrakhan, it was with Emmanuel Abdullah Muhammad, I do comprehend general orders. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
When that's in order and in your heart, you know what I mean, you get out of the distinctions. But that is a very popular video when he goes, "I'm a Moor." And I know, I don't know I'm a Moor, but what brother Hakim is saying, y'all, is Brother Khalid's inspiration to do that video came from his the demonstration he's seeing how Brother Hakim is being himself, just out in public.
He loved us. He loved the Moors. Something about us. He just loved the Moors. You know what I'm saying? He especially loved this Moor that used to always be around the table, Brother Abdul. Fierce looking Moor. With the beard. He looked like one of them old time Moors. He just looked fierce, right? Mr. Khalid loved that brother. But that brother Abdul was fierce. I remember one time an agent came by the table. Right? And he said, "Hey guys," it was a brother, but he's talking like a European. He said, "Hey guys, you want to join the organization?" all the Moors around the table, we all looked at each other like, "Yo, who's this kid?" Right? He's like, "You want to join the organization?" We was like, "Yo, what organization are you talking about?" He's like, "I can't tell you." We was like, "What? You can't tell us, right?" Brother
It's
Abdul.
a really odd way to start a conversation.
You know what I'm saying? It was just weird. You know what I'm saying? But Brother Abdul was just looking at that kid fierce. He said, "Yo, you want me to take him around the corner, put 2 slugs in him. And the kid, he overheard him. He got so scared. He was terrified. His lips just turned white, like dry. He got so scared, right? And so the Moors, they made him put out all his IDs laid on the table. He was like, yo, who you work for, whatever. Come to find out, he said he worked for Interpol. At that time, I didn't even know what Interpol was. Interpol stands for International Police.
Yes.
And he said that, he said, in a little while, he said, a cop's gonna come by. He said, a car's gonna come by with some Europeans in it, right? And but he was so scared he put out all his IDs. And then after all that, he buys $80 worth of books from me. And so I figured it's marked money. So I went right away into the Mark 125 and changed it out. You know what I'm saying? And so sure enough, about 15 minutes later, a cop with Europeans in it come by and stops and is just looking at us and then drives away. And just shortly after that time, a helicopter comes by, right? So just to show you the type of energy out there that was out there at that time. At that time, even the cops used to come by my table and say, Hakim, we fear for your life. The cops used to tell me that. They used to tell me, Hakim, we fear for your life. They checking you. When the riots broke out in LA and on 125th Street, the riots broke out in Manhattan. At that time, if we just look at a store, they shut it down. We were shutting down stores just by looking at them. They were so scared. And one of the cops came, he said, Hakim, be careful. He said, the FBI considers you and your table a hot spot. That's how it was at that time. It was no kind of joke. So anyway, at that time, all these cops and correctional officers started coming through the Moors, coming through the course. But I was turning a lot of them away, but a lot of them still slipped through the cracks.
Got you.
Do you know one day I'm teaching, and on my breaks, I used to read the New York Times. So I read the New York Times and I look, and they got my name on the front page of the New York Times.
I wanted to say real quick, not to cut your wisdom, brother, Cujo, Ottawa L at Canaan Land is in the comments in the YouTube. He said, I'm a Moor and got sense enough to know I'm a Moor. Cali.
Exactly. That's exactly what he said.
That's my brother Cujo.
I mean, look, after they killed him, Khaled said, Brother Hakim, he said, here's my personal phone number. He said, you got to step me up through this Moorish thing step by step. About a month later, he was gone. All right, this is not no kind of joke. This is not no kind of joke. So I'm sitting there, I'm reading the New York Times, and they're talking about in New York City how they arrested 100 cops and correction officers for tax evasion or something like that or whatever. And some of them, in the statement of the New York Times on the front page, they said, and authorities are looking for Hakim Bey, who's the leader of the Moorish nation. I'm like, huh? I'm on the front page. You know what I'm saying? And the cops and some of them was saying how they came through my course. See, but what they was doing, they was more into the patriarch group stuff, and they was trying to get the Moorish teachings to buttress what they was doing with the patriarch groups. But I was, again, trying to turn a lot of more. I said, this is about uplifting fallen humanity, right? So the next day I come to work again the next day, and my name is on the front page of the New York Times again. And this time they said, Hakim Bey is the spiritual leader of the Moorish nation. And he has 2 acolytes that the authorities are looking for. I was like, acolytes? I didn't even know what acolytes meant at that time. I looked it up, and it said acolytes means 2 assistants assisting a high priest in a ritual. And I was like, what? What are they talking about? But this is the atmosphere. So at that time, I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought I was going to be snatched up at any moment. I had a P.O. box. I just seen the authority either waiting for me at the P.O. box, or I was going to hear knock on my door while I'm teaching. Because I was right there. I was teaching right there in the board of education. You see what I'm saying?
Pardon me, I'm going to get some water. Go ahead, keep doing your thing.
No taxes, you know what I'm saying? So they knew who I was. But you know what? I did it the correct way. So they was arresting everything around me, but they left me alone. They didn't touch me. But all those ones around me, they was doing all kind of crazy stuff. They was putting 99 dependents down on the tax forms. I was like, y'all crazy. They know y'all ain't got no 99 children. It's just a matter of time. They're gonna come snatch you up. Then in Harlem at that time, all of them was dealing with international drivers, like all these patriarch group stuff. They was having meetings every night at the Dempsey Center. And I would go there and I would tell them, I said, listen, y'all don't, they were so busy looking for immediate gratification that they was doing things that was contradictory. I said, how are you dealing with these patriarch militia groups who's advocating states' rights? But at the same time, you're dealing with CM Bey, who said the states' rights have no jurisdiction over us. I said, you're contradicting yourselves. And every night I kept trying to warn these brothers and sisters, but I felt like I was a party pooper, right? I kept telling them, I said, listen, I said, this about
well, you were enforcing the law when people wanted to not enforce the law.
Right.
That's what it sounded like.
And at that time, the Civil War was about all right. It was 1995. I told them, I said, listen, y'all, there's about to be a quiet civil war in this country between the federal government and these patriot militia groups. Right after that time was Oklahoma bombing. Everybody who thought it was Middle Eastern. I said, no. I said, these are the European militia groups, right? I said, the same people y'all dealing with, when they raid their offices and they see your name on their list, they're gonna come checking for y'all too. And I even brought them a thing. They was dealing with SOS, Shift of Strategy, Thomas Stockheimer. I brought them a thing showing them how Thomas Stockheimer was a member of the Posse Comitatus. And I brought a picture where they showed a brother hanging from a tree. And on the bottom, it said, let's return to good old-fashioned American justice. I said, these are the people y'all dealing with. But they didn't listen. Sure enough, they raped, when the Montana militia happened, and their own family members were calling the federal government on them, they raided all them officers across the country, including the Empress, because I was dealing with the Empress at that time. The Empress of the Washita Nation. I went down to Louisiana, down to the Washita, met her personally, talked with her personally, everything, right? But again, what happened with her, with the Empress, was that her thing was that she just wanted to get her thing done with the land. So first she went to the nation at Farrakhan. When they didn't help her the way she wanted, then she stepped to the Moors. J. Johnson Bay and ones from Cleveland, Ohio. And when that wasn't really going 100% the way she started dealing with the patriot militia groups. The text I was trying to tell them, leave these kids alone. Sure enough, when they raided all of them, they raided her too. Locked her up and the whole thing fell apart. But anyway.
So you're saying, you're just basically, that's a testimony to Prophet Noble Drew Ali prescribing for us. We seek not to amalgamate with the pale skinned nations of Europe.
Exactly.
And not in a mean and demeaning fashion, but it's
they got their thing. They got their thing and we got ours.
And we would be out of order in doing so. So
exactly.
Even though, according to CM Bey's Word Clock of Destiny, Book 2 in the introduction, before you even get to the table of contents, Manassas, the whole lost tribe of Israel here in the Far East, which is the North Gate, some people call the Western Hemisphere, but 180 degrees Libra, this is Far East at the North Gate, that all of them, from pale skin to copper tone, were all that quote unquote lost tribe of Israel here at the North Gate. So it's like, with that being said, yes, there are sons and daughters, the pale skin, we're the mothers and fathers of civilization. However, just some things that are fractal in reality and in manifestation. This guy that even shows, okay, well, as you said, I think she goes by at that time when I was studying Empress Veterasi Gostinel Bey. I think I'm saying it like that. I think I getting close to it. So what you just lined out, hey, she went to the Nation of Islam, people that are associating and subscribing to so-called black mind, right? So that's not going to have the outcome that she's looking for.
She was shopping around.
Right. So that's what it was. So then you said she went to some brothers that had declared and proclaimed their nationality. However, they may be offshoots of infiltrations previously, because even when Prophet Noble Drew Ali was on the scene, even though I wasn't manifested yet, one can discern when reading the documentation provided that Prophet Noble Drew Ali was even, it's a story that goes around, hearsay is inadmissible in court. However, in discerning just from looking at what's going on, they chase the prophet around with a knife. You know what I'm saying? Around, it's like, that's kind of bananas. Even if I'm not mistaken, it might be in the oral statements and prophecies also, if I double check. However, to land my plane and stop pontificating about on my soapbox right now, I just want to get to the point that what you're really even going to and speaking to is the fact that when we're really not being sincere within ourselves and getting our lower selves properly in order,
you're gonna get caught out there. You're gonna get caught out there
because you're gonna pardon me if I offend anyone, but I'm gonna say this, and I think I'm being politically correct when I say it. You can have the intention to be national, however, if you haven't gone through a full baptism, a full washing of your mind, cleaning your mind. Oh, that sounds like brainwashing. What the fuck ever. Respectfully, what I'm going to say is when you don't, and there's still some kind of dirt or niggardliness, because that means you're going to be selfish, miserly. I'm not saying like niggerish as far as
just the lower self, seeking immediate gratification. Yeah, it's just the lower self at work.
Yes. And so lower self is always going to rear its head and ruin whatever unity is being intended. And that's what I'm actually hearing ring in the foundation of the receipts you're giving as far as your experience leading up to you declaring and proclaiming your nationality and taking your place amongst the affairs of men, however that has transpired. However, I just wanted to let everybody know, hey, you guys are coming in. We've been listening to Brother Hakim. I've been sharing all over Facebook or whatever the different groups, different people that I know will be interested. Shout out to Brother Cujo Adwell L, the Grand Sheik at Canaan Land. He's actually in the chat.
Good. See, and anybody who missed what we said earlier, please, get the video. Look at the video.
They gonna check out. We live. Once this is done, and I go back and do my little thumbnails or whatever, or do my edits in the description. Brother Hakim, I'll get from Brother Amazight if necessary, any and all links or whatever, any description is necessary, because I get right up on it. We don't play around here at 7 Hills.
And forgive me for giving the backstory, but I can't stop at this. I got to give the full. I got to give the full thing. I'm about to get into the MetaVerse-5.
Man, it's a treat, man. It's a treat, man.
I gotta give it. I gotta give it. You know what I'm saying? This is the real true deal. This is for real. This ain't no joke.
This cleans up a lot of concept and it's gonna kill a lot of stuff. So I am in for a treat, bro.
It's so much.
I am enjoying this.
I'm gonna wind it up, but when I get a chance, I gotta give y'all part 2 because there's so much more. But anyway, let me just start to wind it up to say that so that was the problem at that time, was the combining the patriarch militia groups. They revealed certain things dealing with law that was useful for us and stuff like that. But you can't combine the two, and you can't get into this movement seeking immediate gratification, seeking gratification. You have, the purpose is to uplift fallen humanity. All right, that's first and foremost. That's why the prophet brought this, to uplift fallen humanity. Not for you to make some dollars, not for this, not for that, not for this agenda, not for you to get this land or whatever. That's a side issue. That's secondary. Primary is to uplift fallen humanity. And so at that time, I was warning all them brothers and sisters, this is in New York City. And sure enough, when the other shoe dropped and they began to raid and round up all those ones in the patriarch militia groups, a lot of them caught it. A lot of them lost homes. And that's when I began to realize that even some of the things I said might have been misconstrued, misunderstood. And I had got involved with the Moor Science Temple itself, under Braswell Bey. And when I first started the history at the time of the prophet, it was so confusing. It was such a confusion web that I never thought I would untangle it. But come time, I started studying about Emily Ill, how the movement broke up and what happened. And then finally I untangled it. And I never forget that at that time, the prophet like contacted me and set me straight on it. One day I was driving and my car, I'm up by Newburgh, New York, and my car just shut off. right on the highway. And I literally just rolled off the highway, off the off-ramp, and I didn't know what happened, but I rolled right into a gas station. Boom. And I couldn't get to start back up again. And I called the toll people, and the toll people said, where you at? Gas station? They said, that's what we was going to tow you, to that gas station. You might as well just stay there in the morning, have them check you off your car. So there was a hotel nearby there, and I stayed at that hotel, right? And so that night I have a dream, and in the dream, there's a door in the hotel, in the room, but it's like it's a window, because it's a little bit off the bottom of the door, is a little bit off the ground, almost like a long window. And so in the dream, something made me go before that door, and I'm standing there. I'm hearing some background. I'm standing.
Yeah. Somebody mute that mic, you got the background there.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
I'm standing before the door, and I open the door, and who's standing right there? The prophet. And the prophet, and he didn't have the fez he had on wasn't red. It was like turquoise or something. It's almost like if you take the color red and invert it, the opposite color, it was almost like a green, it's like kind of turquoise color. And he's standing there and he's just smiling. And I didn't say a word, because I remember the prophet said, he said, if you see me dreaming whatever, and I don't say a word to you, don't say a word or whatever.
Right, because he's on a soul plane. He's just vibrating low enough for you.
Right. So correct. I just stood there. I didn't say nothing. He's just smiling, but he's effusing. He's giving off an energy, almost like a microwave, just curling off of him. And I never forget, I smelled a scent, almost like a scented oil. And it was almost as if you took the spirit, the soul of all of our people, and bound it up into one scent, one fragrance. That's what he was giving off.
Like frankincense almost.
Yeah. And I'm just standing there, just smelling the smell, looking at the prophet smiling, and I'm just like immobilized and just silent and didn't say a word. And then I wake up, and it was like almost as if the prophet, now mind you, this is before I went to the Adab chamber. So I'm studying, preparing, go through the Adab chamber, right? And so I reached my destination in Pennsylvania, right? And then I have another dream. And in the dream, I'm in a dark, dank basement, and there's a document sitting in the corner of this dark, dank basement, just sitting there as if it was neglected. You know what document it was? Our authority, the affidavit.
Wow.
And I woke up, and you talk about waking up in a cold sweat. My whole pajama, undershirt, everything was soaked. I could have wrung it out like a rag. And that's when I learned about the truth about that affidavit. I learned how that affidavit came from what's called the RCA, the Religious Corporation Act of Illinois, 1876. And when you look up the Religious Corporation Act of 1876, you see the affidavit in that particular law.
Yeah, it was codified as Herd's Revised Statutes, chapters 32 and 36. Right,
right there. It all started to click. And then I began to understand that they always used to say the prophet set up a trust. Little did I know, I found out that the Moor Science Temple of America is the trust. Because in that same document, it said that they said the administrators of this particular type of entity is referred to as trustees. And a document was filed. What the prophet did, he filed it in Cook County, Illinois, recorder of deeds. That was the ancient way. When he did it that way, it was perpetual. When they found out how he did it in 1928, July 20th, 1928.
That was the meeting. The filing happened August 1st at 14:52, which is 2:52 p.m.
There you go. Right, it's right there on the back of the literature, on the back of the literature. And when the Vatican found out what he did, see what the prophet did, it makes you a nation within this nation. There's two different authorities in this nation. It's on a dollar bill. The one with the eagle, that symbolized the national government. The other side symbolizes the divine government with the iron pyramid.
Correct.
That's why when you look at the original seal for the United States of America, on the side with the eagle, on the side with the pyramid, it had, you see how it's flat on the top? They had Moses standing with his people on the rock of salvation. And on the other side with the eagle, representing the Pharaoh, the national government, he's trying to cross and the Red Sea is devouring. That's when I found out the Red Sea between the two seals is the separation.
Oh, when the mic went out on Brother Hakim for a second. Yeah, it went out for a second. Can you run back about 3 seconds to your statement?
Oh, right, yeah, no problem. The original seal, and I got this in I got this in Journal of the Moorish Paradigm.
Oh, is that's not 13. Me, y'all, is it?
Huh? Oh, wait. Y'all can't hear? Peace.
No, are y'all hearing him? Is he's not breaking up to y'all?
Peace. I hear both of y'all. It might be mute on your end.
Loud and clear.
Oh, all right. All right.
All right, and that's on me then. I'll keep going then. Keep going. I yield.
All right. And book number 13 of the Journal of Moorish Paradigm, I got everything in there. I waited to the last book, the 13th book, to write about the prophet. I didn't feel I was qualified in the first 12. I gave the history, the civilization of the Moors, and so on and so forth. Finally, the 13th book is where I got into the prophet and how he made us a nation within his nation. The way he filed it as a religious corporation that was perpetual. In other words, when you file it in the county record of deeds, you're not asking for permission. You merely making it a public record. All right. And so when he did that he said, this day I have made you a nation within a nation. Because why? According to the laws right here, when you form it that way, you can form what's called ecclesiastical government, otherwise known as divine government. And the national government cannot interfere because remember, the original two seals had Moses with his people on the rock of salvation on the pyramid side, the divine side, the great seal side, and on the other side, it had the Pharaoh. And he was trying to molest Moses on the other side, and the Red Sea was devouring him. The Red Sea is the separation of church and state. The national government cannot cross that. Otherwise, it will be devoured by the Red Sea. Separation of church and state. And so this is what the prophet did. This is why he said, seek ye your salvation on the divine side first, and then all these shall be added to you on the national side.
Correct.
That's why we had the national name. See, on the national side, you had national citizens. All national citizens are equal. You see what I'm saying? But on your divine side, you let the national government know so that it will respect you and not try and molest you. On your divine side, it can't touch you. You could set up an ecclesiastical government and the national government has no say, so no jurisdiction. It's ultravirus fault. It's beyond their jurisdiction.
Which is why, to add to your wisdom, they would have to, from their city halls, make proclamations every few cycles stating who we are, whereas who the Moorish Americans are, and us actually having and being a theocratic government.
Ecclesiastical government. They cannot touch it. You see what I'm saying? And this is the whole key to the whole thing. They cannot molest you on your divine. That's why on the national side, you got the national constitution. On the divine side, you got what? The divine constitution and bylaws. Divine constitution. You see what I'm saying? Dealing with what? Divine government. It cannot be touched. And when the Vatican seen what the prophet did in 1928, the Vatican did the same thing in 1929 and got recognized as a sovereign state.
Went by them adding on in convention to the Universal Postal Union at Bern, Switzerland at that convention in 1929 for them to be added on as the Vatican city state. So now they were a member country to the General Postal Union Treaty that was established.
Religious corporation. See,
1874.
This is why they came out with the not-for-profit. They said, man, this gives a person too much power. They could set up an ecclesiastical government, a nation within this nation. They said, we got to come up with a form of religious corporation that the Secretary of State has power over. That's why they came out with the religion, the not-for-profit set up for religious purposes, 501c3. That's under the Secretary of State. he could shut it down for any given year. You don't file reports. But he can't, he has no jurisdiction over what the prophet set up.
Correct.
That's ultra virus. That's
Correct.
beyond his jurisdiction. He can't touch it.
Correct.
That's why if you look right now, 99.9% of the synagogues, the churches, the mosques, even the Roman Catholic Church is under 501c3.
Correct.
Not for profit, set up for religious purposes. That's not a religious corporation. That's not perpetual. That's not ecclesiastical government. This is the game. So I learned all this. That's why the prophet came to the dream and showed me that document in the dark, dank basement. He said, because it's neglected, because people don't understand what it is, what it's about, and the trust that he set up. This is why he said, with us, you must proclaim your nationality. It's a trust. When you proclaim your nationality, that puts you in a position of what? A beneficiary of the trust. And when you go through the adept chamber and become a sheik or sheikess, that makes you what? A trustee. And so according to trust law, you could be the trustee and the beneficiary of a trust as long as you're not the sole trustee and sole beneficiary. And so that's what it was. The trust that the prophet set up was the Moor Science Temple for America. And when you joined and you proclaim it, you became a beneficiary of that trust. And when you went to the adept chamber, you became a trustee and a beneficiary.
Which is the definition for a lodio.
The prophet, he was so far ahead of his time. The people, the Moors didn't even understand what he did. He did something so crazy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so deep.
Impure.
So anyway, impure. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I know I went off on a tangent. Y'all gotta forgive me. I know I'm supposed to be talking about MetaVerse-5, but this is my heart. This is what I live for. So it's like once you get me started, you know what I'm saying, you gotta click me off because I'll just.
Hey, I got a question though. I got a question though. Brother Morpheus, I got a question.
Indeed.
So since you put it out there, right? So you know, you just put it out there, right? So if the grand sheiks, right, are trustees and the members and beneficiaries, and also the members, right, are beneficiary, right? Why haven't the Moor Science Temple of America stepped in that capacity to operate like that and have one state?
Either they don't know, or they've been either some don't know or some been brought off.
So what would that look like though? What would that look like if?
See, the members got to get together and change things. Remember, in a trust, the beneficiaries could get together and file for a new trustee for breach of fiduciary responsibility. What is the ultimate breach of fiduciary responsibility if you don't even know that the trust that you're a trustee for exists? You don't even know exists. That's the ultimate breach of fiduciary responsibility.
Islam, or that's so profound on so many levels, man. Yeah, you did need to do this today.
I
thank you for all that. And beneficiaries ought to know that if one disagrees, they can't be touched by whatever everyone else is accepting in any trust.
Exactly. It's a trust. Everything is set up as a trust. In the Quran of Mecca, Surah 72, it said, Allah said, I offered the trust to the angels, the heavens, and the mountains. And they all refused to bear the trust. But silly man, foolish man accepted the trust. That's the establishment of the trust. The trust is established when the settler transfers the title to the trustee. We the trustees, we the Khalifa. We were the trustees.
So, okay. Look like if the more to do that, like, so is it every
dead zone
temple has that same power to do that? Or like, what would that be? What would that look like? Because the way you saying it, in conflict with
The temple's
can
in power.
you hear me now?
The
What about
temple,
now?
the
7,
temple's
7,
in power
testing,
right now.
testing,
The
7. Can you
trust,
hear me?
yeah, you kind of breaking up, but I got the gist of what you're saying. The trust still exists. The trust is perpetual. What the prophet set up is perpetual. It's not like a 501c3 not-for-profit that got to renew, excuse me, every X amount of years. What the prophet set up is perpetual. All right. And so,
Can you hear me now?
yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just a little choppy,
Yeah.
but
So
I can
what
hear
I
you.
was saying is, so what I
Now you cut off again.
was saying, each temple, and it's not to compare to the Vatican. What about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
7,
can hear
7.
you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So it is my concept right? So each temple, and I'm not comparing it to the Vatican, but this is, conflict. Each temple is supposed to be moving or have the same power as the Vatican, as in each temple would be a state, correct?
Not each
Or
temple,
they got
right. Not each, the Moor Science Temple of America as a whole has that power and then delegates that to the various temples with a Rotarian complexion. So yeah, each temple will be like a state.
would be
like a state.
right, like a state or an embassy, right?
And the Grand Sheik of that temple will be like the governor.
Right.
And the Supreme Grand Sheik is like the president.
And the promise that you can't stop this, the promise that you can't stop this, that you'll get ground up to dust is what you uncovered, where those who, have not submitted to the honor of the trustee, they subject to whatever harm that comes to them according to justice.
Divine law.
And the temple stands within us.
That's the whole purpose. That's the whole purpose of the divine trust and MetaVerse-5, which we're about to get in before my battery go dead over here. But in other words, when I spoke to Brother Braswell and the Supreme Grand Council at that time, and I spoke to him about the virtual world, about setting up temples in there, so on and so forth. And I knew they said, Brother Hakim, we don't fully understand what you're saying. You got to show us. And that's what I needed to hear. I said, I'm going to show you. Watch and see. That's all I wanted to hear. And that's why I'm not in that temple right now per se, but that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, to set the example of what the temple should be doing. The divine trust that I set up, right? The whole purpose is to do the things that function as a trust the way the temples are supposed to do. But I don't want to just talk about it. Like the prophet said, a block of wood could point the way. The true master leaves footprints so that the student can see that he walked that path.
Let me add to your wisdom,
it's
Brother
a demonstration.
Hakim.
Yes.
To add to you and Brother Dunel's wisdom, because you guys are speaking to chapter 28 and 29 in the Holy Quran, as far as when people are in a position to make sure that they're respecting the trust of us, more important, far more higher, setting our trust far more higher than the importance of their own station. And then also when one is really in their Quran and 101, and when you're really looking at the 805 Illinois compiled statutes 110, which is where the Hertz revised statutes are, within that, where you can get to the brackets that refers to the public laws of 1872, what the Religious Corporation Act is based upon. You'll also see, I think, in section 38, where it lets you know how one is removed from office. It's a few constituents, but one of them would be to technically neglect the request, so to speak, of the beneficiary. So
right.
if you're bringing this to people that are allegedly some form of head of, or alleging to be some head of some Supreme Grand Council, and this is no disrespect in what I'm saying or how I'm saying it. I prefer to have met Prophet Noble Drew Ali in his literature first before actually involving myself with anyone. because I comprehend you can meet a man in his literature and really get a grasp for what it is, as long as you're being sincere. And then when you go about to take your place amongst the affairs of men, other people calling themselves Moorish Americans, you can pay attention to things that are immediately outside of principle just by a few words in conversation, because they're not making sure they're standing firmly on the jurisdiction and jurisprudence from within, basing it first and foremost on the divine, then the national, which is why, ergo, you have what appears to be street Moors and temple Moors, quote unquote. And with that, I yield the floor. Islam?
That's why I said my people perish for what? Lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge.
Not lack of money, not lack of this, not lack of that. Lack of knowledge. They just don't know.
Well, yeah, but it's right there though. I mean, once you go to the high authority and you go look at the rules, that means anybody can submit that, right? Or you got to go to
you got to tap into the divine first. This is why I always said. Remember when we was talking about people about what's a safe place to be, and prepping and saving up food. Remember I said the first thing is to tune into the divine, and once you tune into the divine, you will always be at the right place and right time. That's the key, is to tune into the divine. And so this is why y'all haven't seen me for years. I've been on vision quests. The divine told me to go on a series of vision quests starting from 2007. And the divine said, just like the divine told Enoch back in the days, the divine told me, you must separate yourself from the sons of men for a period of time, because I have certain things I want to reveal to you. And so the divine told me to pack up everything I have and put it into storage and go to certain places that he's going to guide me to. And that took me to the mountains of Colorado, 12,000 feet, the deserts of Moab, the canyons of Moab. And in these places, the divine revealed certain things to me. And based on those revelations, that's what guided me to find the things that I found out and establish the divine trust, and eventually MetaVerse-5. The whole purpose of this is that we got to set the example, not talk about it, not debate about it, but do it. Here you see, I'm in MetaVerse-5. This is a community. And in this community, we govern ourselves. It's self-governing. We just finished the governance meeting this Wednesday. In other words, the things that we learned, the things that the divine has revealed to us, here's what we're supposed to put into practice, right here. And then once we put it into practice here, then we bring it to the outside world. So just to give you an example, let's say Moors came together and said, you know what? We want to buy some land and form our own gated community. Well, it would be foolish to try and do that right now, straight up, because buying land and building all these houses and stuff like that, it will cost millions and millions of dollars. And then what? They'll get together and it'll fall apart. Why? Because they don't know what they're doing. Here's where you come and you put it into practice here. You build a community here. And then once you got it going on here and you governing yourself and y'all all know each other, then you go buy land out here because you already had a dress rehearsal. So this is the whole purpose of MetaVerse-5, for us to put in practice what we need to do. It's one thing to talk about it, but it's another thing to do it. Here, we're not talking about self-governing. We're doing it. Here we own parcels of land. We know what it feels like to own a house, to own property, to function as a trust. These communities here, let me just fly up above. This is a region here. This region here has 20 home parcels. Each parcel here, right? Each parcel here has a home on it, right? And these are NFT parcels, which means you own it. Once you buy one of these NFT parcels here, you own a piece of the metaverse. You're not just here wandering around playing games and stuff like that. No, we are NFT parcel owners. We own this. This is a trust. And these homes, these parcels is the trust res. Remember, a trust has three components: the beneficiary, the trustee, and the trust res, the trust property. And the purpose of the trustee is to administer, to govern the trust res or trust property for the benefit of the beneficiaries, who are themselves. So we, the parcel owners in this community here, we are both trustees and beneficiaries. We are beneficiaries because we benefit by owning these properties here, right? And these NFTs have certain utilities. Those are the benefits for the beneficiary. Let me just go here real quick. On the home page, when you scroll down, you see a series of utilities that come with these NFTs. So here you scroll down, right? And here it mentions MetaVerse-5 NFT parcel utilities. These are all the utilities that come with these parcels. This is also the benefits that you as a beneficiary or owner of these parcels benefit from. In our beneficiary capacity, we enjoy these benefits. In our trustee capacity, we go to the government. We have our governance meetings or government meetings, and that's where we exercise our trustee capacity. What's the trust res? Or it's the trust property. It's the parcels themselves. So here we are exercising. We're not just talking about it, but we're exercising it. Let me just show you real quick. This is my particular NFT parcel here. We have about, I think, 8 parcels left in this particular region or community. Everything's going to be community based. And so once this one fills up, it's going to be the next one. Those Moors who want to be with us, Brother Amazight and Brother Dunhill and all of us here in this particular region, sign up. There's 8 parcels left here. And
let me add to your wisdom, Brother Hakim. Brother Amazight Bey has made history by being the first NFT parcel owner in MetaVerse-5. The first one. And history is also being made because this metaverse that you guys are looking at, because Brother Hakim's being very laid back about it, but he is, and correct me if I'm wrong, he is the brilliant mind behind the design that you guys have your eyes on right now. All righty. So Brother Hakim, also we're calling Morpheus L, right? Is the designer for MetaVerse-5, and Brother Amazight making history being the first NFT parcel owner in MetaVerse-5. All right. So this is for nationals by nationals.
That's right. Maybe it was called Matrix 5 originally. Right. You know what I'm saying? And they don't call me Morpheus for any reason. Go back to the first Matrix movie and look at the very beginning when they're talking about Morpheus. And what do? They showed a newspaper article and it said, what? The authorities are looking for Morpheus. This is all about us. We're not copying off the Matrix. The Matrix is a movie. It's about us on the down low. This is us. Now, let me just show y'all this real quick. This is my house in here. And these houses here, every parcel, the parcel are only $500. And if you don't want to buy it up front, you could do payment installments. You could start off with just $97 and pay $97 for 6 months. And in 6 months, you own this parcel. And you could pass that to your children. You own a piece of the metaverse. All right. And this will be your children, your grandchildren's front row seat to the metaverse. This is the only metaverse in the world right now. Founded, created, owned, managed, run by us. This is us. This ain't nobody else. And in this metaverse, I own the grid, own this grid. And I have it's infinite space. You see this region here with all these homes on it? I could create regions, communities, infinite. There's no limit. From here to kingdom come. There's no limit. I'm not renting this from nobody. I'm not, underneath anybody. This is us. Now here, every home parcel has a TV, has these flat screen TVs, right? We have our own TV, streaming videos, audio. You just press the TV, it zooms in, and we could teach classes through here, everything. But when you press the TV, it zooms in, right? And part of the utilities of this is that everyone who owns one of these parcels, this parcel here, let me just backtrack real quick. This parcel here is what's called a hybrid parcel or hybrid home, right? It has 2 floors. The first floor, the bottom floor, could be used commercially. You could put classrooms down here, office, storefront, anything commercial on the bottom floor, and on the top floor you could actually live out of. All right. Now here on the screen right now, and forgive it if it's moving a little sluggishly right now because I got the website going, I got the Zoom going.
And you're streaming. Yeah, you're double streaming.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. So, it's moving a little slower than usual, but I just want to show y'all, we have our own channels and everything here. So I'm going back here to the main page here. And let me just move this. And here we have different channels, video channel, live for live broadcast, music channel. We have a library with books that you can read right off your screen. It'll zoom right in. You can read the books right off the screen. We have a community calendar. We have different things going on. You got your member dashboard here, and you got your affiliate dashboard. And as a vendor, as a parcel owner, you are also a vendor. We have an online shopping mall marketplace. And so right from your home, you could create NFTs right from your home for free. You could create NFTs and sell it on the marketplace, and you could create the NFTs right in your home. And the beautiful thing about our NFTs is that the customers could buy it with a regular debit credit card. They don't even have to buy cryptocurrency first. I'm just giving y'all some of the utilities of these different things. Like for instance, you got your member dashboard, we got videos, we got all kinds of stuff going on here. All right. We also have a 24-hour streaming service for the virtual economy, which means you could create stuff right here in MetaVerse-5. You see here, we got chairs, we got sofas, everything. These are all virtual products, and they be sold in the virtual economy. Naturally, when people come in here, they got a home, they're gonna want to furnish their home. And they have an avatar, they're gonna want to close their avatar. All right. And so in here, we create our own clothes, we can create our own clothes, everything, make them into NFTs right here in the comfort of your own home. Here's the dashboard. And you have your own dashboard. And on your own dashboard, you go right here where it says vendor dashboard, and you create your NFTs. Or you could sell any product or any service in our marketplace and from your home. All right, so I'm just giving y'all an example of the type of things here. You could, in MetaVerse-5, we could walk, we could run, we could fly. All right, here you see our university over here, our university campus over here. I could fly there, but guess what? We could also instantly teleport to any part of the metaverse instantaneously. And so, hold on one second. Let me just do something real quick. I just want to give y'all an example of this real quick, because it was a perfect segue for us to get right into the metaverse, talking about the trust and so on and so forth. And right here is where we could actually practice these things and put these things into operation. Hold on one second. Let me just close this. And now let me figure out why. Hold on one second. I got so many different things going on here. My desktop be looking crazy. You know, I be having so much stuff on my desktop that it actually be going off the desktop. And I got to try and like clear the desktop like literally every day so that I can see things. Now, let me just do something with the toolbar here, because the toolbar settings, I just want to move it out the way. It's blocking my way for some reason. It's as if something opened up and it's blocking my way. So let me see.
Are you talking about your Windows too, right there at the bottom?
Yeah, my down here, this toolbar right here.
Yeah, can you just drag it? Can you like
there you go, there you go.
The mouse? Okay.
There you go. That's what happened. What happened was that another thing was trying to open up. All right, so now I go right down here, hit this, my inventory box, right? And then I hit landmarks. And so let's say I want to go over here to the university campus. right? All I have to do is instantly teleport there, go to that landmark for the campus, and all I have to do is double click it, university campus, and I instantly teleport. So we could instantly teleport to any part of the metaverse. And so eventually, when we have communities, we're going to have communities here from Africa. I'm in discussions with people from Africa, the Caribbean, the diaspora. They could have their own community in here. And so let's say I want to set up a trade deal or business deal with some brothers and sisters from Nigeria. Instead of me getting on paying all this money for a plane and a hotel and risking my life or whatever, I just teleport right over to their region. You see what I'm saying? Right here, it don't cost me nothing. I can meet with them right there in their region. They can have their own store set up in their region, selling whatever it is. This is for us all over the planet. It's more than just fun and games. This is the beginning of a whole new social economic paradigm. And like the prophet said, our problems are largely social and economic. And in a profound sense, it's spiritual and moral. And so we got to solve our social and economic problems first, and then we'll be able to really elevate to the heights of spirituality. Because like the prophet said, no beggar nation has ever reached the height of spirituality. If you got to worry about how you're going to eat and how you're going to pay rent day to day, you ain't got time to get on to all this high spiritual stuff, and you just barely trying to survive. And so here we want to lay the base of a social economic foundation so we can elevate to our highest.
Let me highlight something you just said, because I don't know if people caught what you just said there. What you also said just now, when people are divinely tuned and sincerely tuned in the divine, not only will you learn how to do this mock living so you can do like trials within the metaverse, what's also being said is you get to a certain portion of being, sincerely within the divine, you'll be able to eventually fly or teleport in this actual reality. I don't know if y'all caught that.
And right here in this reality, this is awakening certain brain neurons that's been asleep, that's been dormant. When we fly in here, when we fly inside here, you actually waking up certain neurons that you haven't used in eons. All right. It's all about remembering. What did they do to Osiris? They dismembered him. So what do you got to do? Remember. You know what I'm saying?
Islam.
They dismembered Osiris. So all we're doing here is just remembering. We just bringing the pieces back together again. Just by flying here is going to have an effect on you. You could exercise inside the metaverse. And once you connect it to your avatar, by you exercising the metaverse, you will begin to put on muscle mass in the physical world. They're both simulations. This is a simulation within a simulation. We are living in a simulation. And I just created a simulation within the simulation. That's why when I created this simulation, and I went back and read the creation myths and stories from the past, it all made sense. Because in the beginning was what? The word. And the word is what? Source code. Source code is made out of what? Words. Listen, there's a whole deeper, profound aspect to this, which I teach in the Akalia courses. Y'all gonna be shocked when y'all learn the truth about this whole thing. And the fact that we are living in the simulation right now, and the simulation that we are living in right now that we call reality, we created it. We created the simulation that we're living in right now, but you forgot. And
it's so like the movie Inception.
Exactly. Because we forgot, we attributed all to a God floating up in space somewhere. We created this simulation, but when we created these bodies, which we call avatars, just like this is an avatar that can navigate and function in the virtual world, your physical body is an avatar so that it could function in this simulation. All right. And when we created these bodies, these physical bodies to navigate in this simulation, we put a certain circuit in there, a certain thing called the serotonin complex. And the serotonin is designed, see, every time you go to sleep at night, you return back to the source. And then when you come back into your body, you pass this mechanism activates, the serotonin mechanism activates to make what? To make you believe that this is the real world and the only world. That's the purpose of the serotonin mechanism. It makes you forget from whence you came and make you think that this is the only world, the real world. But think about it. If this is the only world in the real world, how come you can only spend 24 to 72 hours in it before you got to check out and return back to the real world? You can't stay here past 72 hours because guess what? You're going to return back involuntarily. You're going to fall asleep. You're going to start dreaming. You're going to return back no matter what. This is not the real world. This is a simulation. The purpose of this simulation that we live in right now is to learn what? The knowledge of good and evil, duality, binary. All right? Binary.
It's like where Morpheus says in the Matrix, it's basically whatever happens, to you in the Matrix and in your mind, and you deem it true, then it's going to happen to your, your body outside of the Matrix. And just one other thing, a few people are in the comments, and I'm just kind of monitoring the comments on YouTube. They're really, really, really enjoying this presentation. Guys, you gotta thank Brother Amazight Bey for even sharing with me that he's been working with Brother Hakim. And I'm like, are you serious, bro? Like, everybody's asking me about how am I supposed to know? But it's like tonight is the night. The sun is conjunct Jupiter now at 14 degrees in Pisces.
By Jove, right?
Like, yeah, it's just like some really great things going on. And Senior Jackson Bey, because we have on there on YouTube, Brother Hakim, we have an astrology presentation for children that made with some puppets that I've put together and did on my iPhone 6S. The brother who does the Moorish Latin, he's actually he's part of Baltimore's Teachers Union. He actually teaches within the Baltimore City public school system. But Brother Senior Jackson Bey, he says here, he says he remembers, you said around 2012, and I think he's referring to one of your videos, that reality is programmed by us.
That's
right.
That's right.
And he said that resonated with him profoundly from one of your videos from 2012.
Guess when this was founded? When it was founded, it was initially called Matrix 5. And guess when it was founded? It was founded
was it 2012?
December 21st, 2012 at exactly 11:11 p.m. Wow. This is what the ancestors told. They told me to launch it on that day. They told me, and I did it.
So that's that Mayan calendar stuff for all you Mayan calendar, lovers out there. But it's kind of all of us. But Senior Jackson Bey, that's the response there on that one, right? And we already let you know what Brother Cujo said. Like, everyone's just saying this is exciting, this is awesome. That they're giving they're asking, just giving their gratitude. And Brother Ara Muaba Bey, he's one of the Moors, along with 4 other Moors that we had, filed some music in the Library of Congress, being completely national on the documentation, domiciled at Morocco, the whole 9 or whatever. He's saying, indeed, that's why I say, let us get rid of rent and food, slow transition, because that brother's right now, he's in the middle of looking at breatharianism and things of that nature. So he's been doing things here within this, a simulation here, and really doing his best to practice things with his own mind, where he's rejecting food at certain intervals, but healthily so.
Wow.
So, different people are trying different things within themselves, not dogmatically or not in a fashion where they think they're going to get some outward benefit, but it's definitely based on everything you're saying right now, Brother Hakim. And
come on, y'all. Come on inside.
We just get started.
Yeah, come on. We're having a mastermind discussion tonight, man. Come on in, Brother Amazight. Thank you. Anybody, any artist, creator, content creator, musician, come inside here. Create your NFT parcels. Let's set up a whole new social economic paradigm and uplift our people everywhere. You could have a brother living in the bush, creating a woodwork art item, and have a home in the metaverse, and we could go over there and buy it.
And they might not say it, y'all, but I'm going to say it. It is the most affordable metaverse deal out there. If I recall in a conversation previously with Brother Amazight, that any other place just is going to give you just the land, the metaverse land, so to speak, the metaverse land.
Yeah, that's it.
For 13 racks, where you're getting a whole
parcel. It's higher now.
And ours is bigger. Each parcel is over a third of an acre.
Wow.
So over 17,000 square feet. And I have a special right now. We have 2 shopping malls, a furniture mall and a general mall here with clothes, furniture. Amazon to tell you. And right now I have a special for all those malls who sign up now. I'm giving you a free ticket to go in there and shop until you drop. Get as much furniture as you want for your parcel, as much clothes as you want for your avatar. It's open. It's wide open, y'all.
Yeah, I know you can't be teleporting because I get it. When you're trying to stream via Zoom and screen share and stream, that's why you're there. There's just the information. Yeah, that's all it is. Because
my Wi-Fi connection is not that hot right now. I'm telling you, I got like 3 bars on there or something like that. It's not as optimal as I would like it to be. But listen, we have a
But I've been in the meetings. I've been in the Sunday meetings. I've been in one, and then we had the conversation with Brother Walter with the Moor. It's some major things happening, guys. And I just would think like this would be the equivalent. This is how I described it that one time when we all were on the phone. I said, this is the meeting that Steve Jobs and them was having in their parents' garage. Exactly. So to speak, quote unquote, their progenitor's garage. And they were talking about, hey man, we're gonna make a computer.
and they studying us. See, it's quite we don't realize they are studying us. When I first came out with this, right, and you see how everybody's calling me Morpheus, right? And I created a system called that deals with a deeper aspect of this called Akalia. Then they come out with Oculus Rift. The 3D virtual world headgear, Akalia, right? And then Sony comes out with a competing product headset and they call it Project Morpheus. Come on, y'all.
It's all based on your work, though.
Yeah, and then you see how I spoke at Cujo and Canaan Landmore's Prophet Celebration last year, talking about the metaverse and how you don't have to go and log in at your job and commute and all that stuff. You just log in. Here comes Mark Zuckerberg saying the exact same thing.
Correct.
Come on, y'all. They study.
Well, now it's practical. It's practical now because a lot of people don't realize that it's gonna be a way of life. You know, because back in the day, used to punch in the clock, right? Then you could talk on the phone to clock in. Now they had the fingerprint, right? Then they had the retinal. Now it's face. So all of this technology. When you go for a job in the future, you're gonna have to interview in the metaverse. When you go call up these people, right? It's gonna be practical for everything.
It said the New Jerusalem descended from the heaven as a bride adorned. Meaning what? It's coming from the mind. Right. And it's descended down to the physical plane. There's nothing spooky about it. And they said there was a war in heaven between Michael and his angel and Satan and his angel. And Satan and his angels were lost and they were cast out from the heavens. What are you talking about? The minds of the people. All those lies and stuff that they've been teaching, he was cast out. And they say he comes down to earth with much wrath. Why? Because he knows he has but a short time. This is it. Man, there's so much stuff, man, that I want to talk to y'all about. But again, here in MetaVerse-5, like tonight, Friday, we scheduled to have a mastermind and discussion tonight where we gather over there by the obelisk and anything's on the floor at that point. Other days, we have governance meetings, we have affiliate business meetings. You know, we got things going on here. We're not just playing games here. We are setting precedents. Everything we do is setting a precedence. All right. I want to bring y'all on board. Come over here and join us. You see what I'm saying? Take part. Like I said, you could start taking part for as little as $97 a month. That's $25 a week. Come on.
With your actual card. You don't have to take fiat or your debit card or credit card, so to speak, the debit card, the credit card, and go and get cryptocurrency and then go exchange your cryptocurrency with, with those that are helping develop the metaverse. No, you can go straight with you got Cash App card. Hey, you know what, man? I do want a parcel. I ain't got 500 right now, but you said I can do 97 for 6 months straight. And I got to admit, I've seen it with my own eyes.
PayPal.
And we got our own tokens too. We got our own M5 tokens that you could use. You could earn the tokens and buy parcels with that. So we got. There's no excuse. Come on, y'all.
It's actually the best metaverse offering I've seen out there so far. And I gotta admit, Amazight will tell you, I was immediately like, nah, man, I don't want to do nothing in the virtual world. And then I thought about it. I said, hold up, bro. You can do mock living. Okay. You can it's like if it was a mock court trial, you can have mock anything in the metaverse, provided
you guys weather, everything in here. Look at this. I'm gonna make it sunset. You see, right now it's midday. I'm gonna make it sunset, so y'all could just see the type of power that we have in here. It's sunset now. See the sun setting. All right. I could make it midnight. All right.
And that's astrology in itself, right there. Hey, man, I want to see the constellations at this time.
We could control. I mean, we remember, I was teaching people how to program in this world is 4 dimensions: length, width, height, and time is the 4th dimension. Well, guess what? Here in MetaVerse-5, we got another 4 dimensions. We got length, width, height. Every object has those 3 dimensions, and we can control time. And so now we learn how to program in 8 dimensions: 4 outside the metaverse and 4 inside. Come on. We're about to take this thing to a whole other level. What I'm talking about now, Mark Zuckerberg, they don't have that paradigm. All they want to do is just make money. That's all they know.
Correct.
They don't know the deeper aspects of this. If I was to tell y'all the deep aspects of this, like it was said, I would turn your brain to water. Y'all will be surprised. Y'all be amazed when y'all learn the deeper aspects of this. I'm gonna be teaching about the deeper aspects, including the advanced classes on the limbic system. Now, I'm just gonna leave it there. Average person don't know what the limbic system is about. When you get a chance, look it up. They don't teach y'all about that. But
LYMBIC, correct?
Yeah, LIMBIC.
LI or LY?
MLI.
Okay, got it.
Limbic system. This is the core of man. The same way your computer has a CPU, central processing unit, the limbic system of man is the central core of man. If you know the limbic system, you know yourself. And when you know yourself and your limbic system, you know everybody else. Because
is this connected to the endocrine system, beloved brother?
It control. In other words, like all the systems of the body and the planet, it's all controlled from the CPU. It's the central core. Gotcha. It controls everything. You could change reality just by changing and working with your limbic system. There's so much. Like I said, I'm just scratching the surface. I'm scratching the surface right
here. We ain't getting started yet.
You know, look, sometimes, I know what I know, but I'm supposed to play the one who asks questions like the public that doesn't know. So sometimes I'm gonna be jurisprudent and speaking jurisdiction, and sometimes I got to play like, oh, what, brother? How is this? What is that? Also, I got to do that sometimes.
Right.
All right.
I'm on my wraparound deck. We have a 300 on the second floor. We have a 360-degree wraparound deck, so you can enjoy the view. I'm on the second floor right now, and this is where you could put your bedroom, you could put your living quarters and everything on here, and then downstairs you have your business, you have your office. You could put a movie theater down there, a venue. You name it. You know what I'm saying?
It's just like for those that grew up in the hood where you go to the corner store and Mr. Lee or Miss Kim and
they live upstairs.
Downstairs, but they live upstairs.
Yeah. I call it hybrid. You know what I'm saying? You might as well do residential and commercial and make money right downstairs in your house. You know, teach a class, teach a course, whatever right downstairs, and when everybody leave, just go right upstairs and go to sleep. You know, sometimes I come in here, I might look at a boxing match or MMA on the TV screen. I can look at it on my computer, but looking at it here, it just gives you, the subconscious mind does not distinguish between so-called reality and so-called fantasy. I won't say it can't distinguish, it chooses not to. So whatever you do in here, let's say you overweight and you make your avatar slim, the subconscious mind will see that and say, wait a minute, something's not matching. You know what? I got to start slimming the body down to match what I'm seeing in here. So you could use the metaverse for programming and self-development as well. See, you'll never hear this type of talk from Mark Zuckerberg and them because they don't know. They don't know.
Hold on, I'm sorry, I got to impart again. What Brother Hakim just said is, this is a accelerated way to vision board. I yield the floor.
Indeed. It's realistic. It's 3D. It's 4D. This is 4D. If I take this chair and I go into edit mode on this chair and I go to object, you see what? It has 3 dimensions: length, width, and height. X, Y, Z. Mm-hmm. And the 4th dimension is what? Time. And you see how we can control time as well. So you can control your 4 dimensions. I can make it nighttime for me here in this region, but the Amazight could be in this house a little ways over, and he can make it midnight. He can make it sunrise, and that's what he will see and experience. We in the same region, but you could tailor your experience based on yourself. You can control time yourself. I could also make it so that the day inside this region coincides with the day here. So when the sun goes down here in the physical world, it's going to go down here inside the metaverse.
Forgive me, Brother Hakim. Forgive me one more time because it's getting turned up in the chat a little bit. Brother Yusef Mutadi L, all right, he said he remembers when you came up there to speak at Canaan Land. Brother Yusef Mutadi L says, Islam Moors, Brother Hakim, I've thought of you the entire year since that class. I've watched the technology people and said, Brother Hakim Ben had this information. Islam Moor, you are correct. 300%. Also, Zephaniah Bey says, so we can all meet up here? Where do I download?
Yep.
All of us. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
All of us. Let's go.
No matter where you at, we can all meet right here. Any time of day.
You know, yeah, and we can communicate and have a conversation with the whole nation.
Listen, there may come a time, you see with this war and all stuff happening, get in now. Because
Islam,
there may come a time where we can only communicate in here.
Just wanted to let you know, I think Brother Jacob wants to impart his wisdom also, but go ahead, I yield.
I've been trying to give my testimonial. You know what I'm saying? Pete, first of all, peace to everybody, man. Matrix 5 is it's a beautiful, it's a beautiful platform. I've been involved with MetaVerse-5 when it, even was Matrix 5 since 2015, and I love it because it gave me a sense of purpose. You know what I'm saying? It gave me a sense of purpose, a sense of duty, more life, and it's still a lot of stuff I'm learning in the metaverse, but it's a beautiful platform. It's a as far as business, being able to socially, y'all can hear me?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah.
Being able to just socially, economically, uplift ourselves, and for the first time in my life, I feel like, this give our people like a chance to get ahead of the curve. We always been on the back burner when it comes to new innovations, this, that, and the third. And to add to, what y'all was saying about Amazight, him being the first one, I also want to give praise to him because, it's other ones that's in there now, but he did it when nobody was coming in and he wasn't scared. And sometimes when you innovate and pioneer, you can't be scared. You feel me? You just
indeed.
Big fact.
And I want to thank Brother Jacob too, because he represents. But Jacob is like my right hand man.
Hey,
he's my apprentice. What he represents, for me and him represent. Jacob is the age of my son, my firstborn son, right? And our relationship and what we represent See, the whole foundation of what people call masonry, Freemasonry, and so on and so forth, it goes back to our ancient guild system. That was our education system, the ancient guild system. And in the ancient guild system, you had 3 steps or 3 degrees. You took on an apprentice. See here, the way the university college system, you see what I'm saying? You pay a tuition up front and hope you reach some benefits later on when you owe all this money when you graduate over. But in the ancient guild system, it was different. You see certain qualities in a young brother or sister, and you take that person on as an apprentice. They're not paying you nothing, whatever yet. You taking them on as an apprentice and you teaching them. And once they learn certain things as an apprentice and they're ready to start applying what you taught, they move to the next degree, fellow or fellow craft. This Correct. Is where they're applying what you taught them, right? And they keep on applying it and they earn wages and so on and so forth. And then when they ready to take on an apprentice, that elevates them to master. And those are the 3 basic degrees of Freemason, really the only degrees. Everything, all the other degrees are just plus degrees, ineffable degrees, and historical degrees, and ritual reenactments of certain historical things. But the whole foundation is those 3 basic degrees. And so, brother, I took on Brother Jacob as an apprentice, working with him one-on-one. This brother excelled. This brother, he showed the dedication. I have so much confidence and trust in this young brother that you hear speaking right now. I could turn everything I own over to him right now and don't even blink an eyelash. I have that much trust and confidence in him. And that's the way it's supposed to be. I'm from Generation X. He's the millennial generation. My generation, we're supposed to be taking these young brothers and sisters on as apprentices and teaching them the real game. You see what I'm saying?
Islam, Moor.
Peace.
William Donnell. And I think this is a great segue for the thought and the idea that in terms of those who might hear the cost as if it's a real cost, you know, a price as if it's really a meaningful price, as opposed to the value. You had not mentioned to them about the affiliate membership privileges that will get them started if they scrap for cash or if they just have the fear.
That's right. For every 10 people you recruit, we pay you $500. We pay you 10% commission on everything for life. And not even beyond your life. You could pass your affiliate position down to your children.
Hold on, stop, because I don't think they heard you. Just dropped another jewel. Let me tell you what Brother Dunn just got started, that just got Brother Hakim into. What they also just said is, you can take you and 9 of your friends and put 50 notes up a piece.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
I yield.
That's
Go
what
ahead,
we're talking about. That's what we, and see, let me just, Brother Dunn, thank you for mentioning that, because I'm not going to detail, but I just want to mention 6 of the main features of MetaVerse-5. One, that we're looking to build micro communities. So what I just been showing you is a micro community with 20 parcel homes on it, and that's a micro community. But you can form your own micro community within MetaVerse-5. So let's say you have a group or you have a class or whatever the case may be, right? If you just get 10 people, yourself and 9 others, you could form your own micro community where y'all own that whole region, starting with just that 10, and then you could fill it up with 10 more to fill up that region. But it'll be your own region that y'all govern, not me. Y'all govern that region. The stakeholders and the parcel owners of a region, you own that region. So we community based. And so you don't have the madness that you see in these other metaverses, Decentraland or whatever, where people coming in and they crazy. It's just chaos and people hitting each other with bottles. I showed the video the other week. They hitting each other with bottles. It's just madness. You would never want to bring your children in there. Whereas here, You could bring your children in here, no problem. All right. So we build in micro communities, and anybody interested in building, you can either buy NFT parcel in one of the communities that we already have, or you can get together with 10 people and build your own community, jack control, and then take your time to fill in the other 10 spots. And once you fill in those 10 spots, you say, you know what, we're ready to grow. We want another region. And then we'll give you a whole nother empty region for you to fill up. All right. So in MetaVerse-5, we build in micro communities. All right. Also, we have our own NFT mint and marketplace.
Stop right there, Brother Hakim, because I want you to sandwich your explanation. You just did a pro, right? Now, you know how you have some people, because this is the position I'm supposed to take, all righty, in the comments in YouTube. Let's say we have someone who has their doubts. Now, this goes back to your mindset and what you guys can do and achieve. However, I usually won't stop to cater to a doubt. But, however, in this case, I think it's great too for this moment, because I know it's way more advantages to come after we make this one doubt, address this one doubt. So in the comments, right? Mother's son, all right, he has been asking questions along the lines. Let me see if I can go back to a couple of them, but they're all on the same path.
And I want to take those questions too. Let me just mention, after I use this little part right here, I want to take any questions and comments people may have.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Because they're the hard questions. You know, I'm pretty sure questions. You can think of whatever doubt.
I love questions.
But it's not as much doubt in the comments as it is, how can I participate? How can I be a part of it? Hold on. I can do multi-level thing where we can get this too. I don't just have, it's options. So yes, I think this is great. All right. I yield to you, Brother Hakim Islam.
Indeed. If anybody want to come, you know, just come to MetaVerse- or -5, the number 5.com. And when you come to this website here, if you're interested in getting an NFT parcel, just hit the menu and you can hit buy NFT parcel or become a member NFT parcel, or you could just scroll down right here and take part. And like I said, you could take part at any level, as an individual, as a group, forming your own micro community. You could pay for upfront $500, or you could do the payment plan of 6 payments of $97 each. And after that, you actually own. We mint the NFT parcel and you own it. We send it to you. We send it to your wallet and you own it. All right. So there's different ways to get involved. And then once you become once you get your parcel, you automatically become an affiliate. And we have classes and trainings on that, showing you how to do everything, make your own QR codes and all that stuff like that. And you also you become an affiliate, and you also become a vendor. You become a vendor and mint your own NFTs and sell it in the marketplace. And you could sell not just NFTs in the marketplace, but you could sell anything, any good or service in the marketplace. All right. So there's all kinds of ways for you to make money through the affiliate program, as well as do this. And also as an investment, your NFT.
The brother's still there? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
you. Yeah.
Your NFT parcel is going to increase in value. Right now, like for instance, Brother Amazight has NFT. Being he owns the first NFT ever sold in MetaVerse-5 for collectors. That right there gives it value. All right, this is the ground floor. And we also I'm reaching out to celebrities, P. Diddy, Master P. And if any of y'all know any celebrities, let me know, because I don't want money from them. I just want their endorsement and their support. We don't need no money. We don't need no seed capital. We don't need no investment. This already exists. This is not a thought. I'm not proposing this. This exists right now.
We active right now.
So we're not looking for money for these people. All we're looking for support and endorsement. So like I said, celebrities, influencers, you know, influencers that have a field day, especially with the affiliate program. They could come in, and every 10 of the people that they influence that comes in, they get $500.
And for the record, the just wanted to say for the record, Mother's Son is not knocking the activity. These are just questions that people want to, you know how people want to make sure, all right, if I get asked these hard questions, how can I defend it? That's what I just wanted to put out there. with your permission, when you're ready for the question and answer portion, would you rather me just dictate to you the questions from the chat, or would you like me to invite them to be able to come into Zoom and just verbally ask you directly?
Either way, I'm good with either way. I just like the questions. And matter of fact, I'm gonna go through this real quick because I'm looking at my laptop battery here. I got 32 minutes, so
all right, I yield.
And it's after 7.
Yeah, but also, Brother Morpheus, when they come in as affiliate, right? Let's say I don't think people know about this though, but let's say somebody you saw with MetaVerse-5 and you went through that person and they sent you a link, or you just got on the website and you was like, oh man, this person referred me. If you go to the referral section, it has all the affiliate names.
Exactly. You have your own affiliate dashboard, so you can see all the people, even if they just visit and don't get any NFT parts or whatever, it all shows up on your dashboard. And you could do campaigns also. You could do a Facebook campaign, Twitter campaign with a special link, and everybody who comes through that campaign, it shows up, all those metrics and analytics show up on your dashboard, so you can see what's working. And you can say, oh wow, through my Facebook campaign, people coming through like crazy. Let me put more energy into that campaign. All right, so it's all kinds of things. So I'm just gonna run through this real quick, and I want to take a question in because I love questions. So let me just so NFT mint marketplace, that's another feature. Also content creation and virtual economy. I'm doing a content creation course starting this Saturday for the NFT parcel owners. All right, where I'm gonna be teaching how to create content. You see this whole region, this whole house right here and everything. I created all this whole thing off of one cube, one block. I just took one block and built all this from that one block. I'm gonna be teaching y'all exactly how to do that, how to make logos, how to do this, how to do that. It's all gonna be in this content creation course. And the things that you create in your house, you could sell in the virtual economy within MetaVerse-5. Just put it on the 24-hour-a-day ad service, and somebody could be in 50 regions away, see it on their TV, and be like, oh man, I want that couch that person created, or that shirt, or that hoodie, or whatever. So we're gonna be teaching all that, 2 classes every single week, all right, starting this Saturday. We're going to have other courses, classes, and workshops where we're going to actually teach you hands-on. We're in a class, and just like at the content creating class, where you're going to be creating stuff right there in the class. All right, hands-on. You're going to get theory and practice. All right. We also putting together something called the BitHop project, just like hip hop, BitHop. Being that came out through hip hop, we're going to do it just like how we did back in the days, where the b-boys, the breakdancers got in a big circle, and the b-boys each took turns going down in the middle. And if you look at that from above, that makes the symbol Ra, the circle with the dot in the middle. That's the BitHop project. We're gonna have contests. The avatars are gonna be dancing to the beat, not just moving around. They're gonna be dancing in sync with the beat. I'm developing a technology dealing with MIDI, where you actually can control and make your avatar dance by just hitting the keyboard. All right, that's the BitHop project. That's to come, and that's gonna blow up big time for the young people. They're gonna come in with the avatars with sneakers and hoodies and jackets. And this is gonna be a multi-million-dollar project right here. All right, we're gonna have videos. We're gonna be putting on YouTube. People gonna see these avatars dancing like that, fly clothes. They're gonna be like, "Yo, what's this?" And the young people, we're gonna put it on TikTok, all that. The young people are gonna get involved like crazy, and when they get involved, they're gonna take it to the next level. And your NFT parcels, the value of it is gonna go up, it's gonna skyrocket. All right. And then last but not least, we have the affiliate program, which we kind of already spoke on. So let me just take any questions. Time is limited, but I'm looking forward. All right, let's roll.
So we got
the webinar on Sunday.
Yes, we have the webinar.
Brother Jacob?
Now I was letting the people know whatever we can't get, we got the webinar on Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah, ask questions. Eastern. The link is on the website for the webinar this Sunday. All right, at 2 p.m. Eastern.
And check Brother Amazight's Facebook. Brother Amazight posted on his Facebook too at Ramundus L on Facebook. So we'll make sure he posted on his metaverse. On his Royal Gang, RG Royal Gang.
Indeed. All right. So, all right. Any questions? Anything?
Mother's
in a short amount of time. And if
okay,
I just
so
if I get disconnected just because of the battery. All right. Yeah. You said mother son.
No worries. Brother Yusef asked real quick. So if I have a product in the physical, can I sell it in the metaverse? Yes. And let's just say vice versa also.
Both. Yeah. You can sell it on the. You have a storefront on the website. In other words, here we have a marketplace, right? Did I put the link here for the marketplace? We have a marketplace here within the metaverse. Here's a storefront, and here you have all the different products for that particular store. You will have your own store on the website, and those objects could be sold within your house as well. And in MetaVerse-5, we conduct real business in real time with real money, which means somebody could walk in your house, see an item, and purchase it in their avatar right in your house without never leaving your house. So we're going to be selling things in the metaverse as well as outside the metaverse. So yes, any product or service you have.
So someone could have an NFT parcel in the metaverse representing an actual house and land in actual reality. This simulation.
Indeed.
Here that we call reality. And if they sell that NFT parcel to someone, then what transfers is the actual physical property that so whoever has that NFT parcel connected to the actual house, whereas Brother Amazight had posted on his social media a couple of cycles, if not, less than 14 days ago, a young lady trying to figure out, well, how did this house sell, but it's sold as an NFT online, but people actually got physical house and stuff or whatever. So
because they get a certificate of ownership. And that certificate of ownership is placed on a blockchain where it's immutable. It can't be touched, it can't be changed, it can't be deleted or whatever. And this is eliminating all the closing procedures for houses and lawyers and this and all the stuff like that.
Yeah, no middleman no more.
You cut out the middleman. You got to do is present them with.
You the plug.
Exactly. That's it. You the plug. You everything.
Islam. Mother Son is here with us in the Zoom. Mother Son, unmute your mic and ask Brother Hakim your question, please. Islam.
Islam. Peace to you, brothers. How y'all doing?
Islam. Is that brother?
And it's always a pleasure to hear your voice, Brother Hasan Ghaziel.
Brother Hasan. Hey,
you already know, brother.
That brother all the way out there near the Alaska State Republic, right?
Hey, you could come right inside here, no matter where you at. You could be right here.
Well, I do have a question. What are because I want to know that with every coin there are two sides, and I'm not asking to knock the activity or whatever, because I do I'm invested in the cryptocurrency and I'm very well familiar about the blockchains and NFTs and all of that. So what are the disadvantages and the negative possibilities?
I can be honest with you, I can't think of too many. The only thing I could think of is people missing out. In other words, y'all don't want to miss out on this, or spank yourself when you say, man, I should have got on the ground floor. Now the NFT parcels are $5,000 each. Shoot, I could have got it when it was 500. That's the only
that's what I'm asking you about, is like even how we're talking about the value of, because it's not tangible. It's not here that we can put our hands on it, so to speak. So because I believe I asked this in the chat as well, wouldn't all this still be predicated upon the people's faith in it, because it's not tangible?
No, this is tangible. And shoot, and on the bottom floor of these houses, shoot, somebody can come in and buy something that's real money in real time that you can use to buy real things. It's nothing spooky about it. We dealing with
I'm not saying it's spooky. No, I'm asking. I'm just asking sincerely about it, because I've had these questions come my way when it comes to crypto. And we know that world is predicated upon the faith.
We got classes in here. We got classes in here. We got movies. We got stores. I mean,
but the people that's saying that, right? They don't realize that they're gonna be before you're forced to use it, you might as well get in it, because it's gonna be a way of life and how we do stuff moving forward in anything, right? And a lot of this, before they blew up with all this metaverse land and whatever, I missed out on the opportunity. Land was like $10, $30 a parcel. And then when they announced it, 13,000, 15,000, like Bitcoin, you know, so it's going to be practical.
Remember that guy, he brought Papa John's pizza pie with a Bitcoin, where now in today's times, it would be like $50,000 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, the first adoption.
So that's what I'm asking. What would make you hit that pay button to pay for the that which is artificial? What would make you to pay for that? What pushes you?
Hold on. The real benefits. Coming here, experience the real benefits. Where you come in here, and like, say for instance, like I remember one of the brothers say, he come in here after work and he just flies around to help decompress. It has real physical health values for you. You can come in here. We have a meditation room. If you look here, let me see if you can see from here in the sky. We have a meditation room for group meditation that's up in the sky. These are real benefits that you could benefit in your health here in this world. You see what I'm saying? So, and you can expand your business if you're an artist.
Which is distinguished from the real, or from reality. And that's
meditation.
That leads me to my next question, because I heard you guys speaking about the children and stuff like that. Indeed. And the first thing that came to my mind is, I'm not knocking it, and I think it's a good thing that they know about it. But like I said, with anything, even with cryptocurrency, I don't think you should put all your eggs in one basket on this, because
I'm sure people got other things going on.
Predicated on two things: your faith in it, and the grid that keeps it running, which can be destroyed or shut off by anybody.
Just like anything else, just like anything else.
And that's what I was asking you about, the risks. We have to talk about that for people who don't know.
It's just like fiat.
Let me impart. Hold on one moment, Islam. This is where I'm looking at it like this. Me, I was probably, and maybe still even, because I'm still studying, I was one of the biggest skeptics about it. What I saw was, it's based on whatever your intention is. It's no different than your Instagram account. All right. So you have an Instagram account, and whatever you're in, some people thirst trap with their Instagram account. For me, Instagram is straight business. I meet no future, woman of mine or anything like that. Not actually. So I'm thinking, for me, I wasn't looking to, you know what? I would love to go in the metaverse and just fucking fly around for no reason. I didn't see it as being a benefit. Where I saw the benefit is when I may decide to fly around, there are going to be some things where neurons in my brain are going to be doing something a little different. That's one benefit. Second benefit is, oh snap, if everybody can't make it to, let's say Grand Sheik Cujo want to do a civics class, and everybody want to meet up with Cujo, we can all meet up in the metaverse. So I'm looking at it, okay, everybody want to do an astrology class with me. We can all meet up in the metaverse. At that point, the failure would be on whoever doesn't have sincere, intentional use for the metaverse. That's the only
individual person.
All right. What would be the remedy for one who would choose not to operate in such a capacity? Because when we're talking about reality, the metaverse is not reality. It's not in the tangible world in which we see each other.
It is real. It's just as real as this world.
Let me finish my question, brother. Because nothing that I'm seeing on this screen that's called MetaVerse-5 is, I can't touch, put my hands on it. I can't, especially like when we're talking about real land, real estate, the metaverse, you're not talking about that. That's a figment of one's imagination. And I'm, like I said, I'm not knocking it.
You believe in Prophet Noble Ali, right?
I'm almost done. Let me land. I'm almost done, brother.
No, I just
it can be an excellent tool to be used to do certain activity. And I get that. Sure. But what
I want to make sure everybody hearing everybody. I want to make sure the volume not cutting out.
Yeah, and my batteries I just got a notification it's about to go dead any minute. But it depends on each individual person. But like I said, you can have a glass, and one person see that glass and it's half empty. The other person sees that same glass and it's half
not
full.
about, no, that's not what this, so you're taking me the wrong way, brother. And I'm, like I told you in the chat, I'm not your enemy on this. I'm asking.
I know you're not.
Somebody has to play the advocate here and bring those questions to the forefront that may be running through the minds of people who may be interested.
No, that's
and
good.
So that's why I noticed that, we're highlighting the all of the lights and the good things, but there is a flip side to it, even just like with cryptocurrency. There is that flip side. And when you let me know what the flip side is. When you create an NFT or a token or whatever like that and put it on the blockchain, it's still, you need the faith of the people in order for them to spend their money on it. Just like they put a picture of a guitar up that sells for 300,000 XRP.
Right,
you need somebody that's going to have enough faith into thinking that picture is not just a picture to spend that kind of money on it. That's what I'm saying.
And that's a given. And I understand exactly what you're saying. And yeah, there's always a flip side. And I'm gonna present, like I said, is the glass half empty, half full? I'm gonna present the half full side. If somebody sees the half empty side, bring it up and I'll address it. I don't know what's going on in their mind. They will have to manifest it. Let me know what flip side they see, and we'll deal with it. There's no obstacle.
I got one, right? Like for years, right? For years, we've been like, oh, the school system failing our people, right? Mm-hmm. The school system has failed our people. Okay, now we can have a school in the metaverse that all our children can learn the same proper knowledge on the same level in real time, right? With real teachers. Now we don't have to spend a light bill for that school. We don't have to make sure them children eating. We don't have to worry about somebody's worried about our curriculum being not discussed, not taught in real time now. And also, if we create that and act like who and what we are, along with other micro communities in the community, now we just created a private school system that is predicated where we don't have to send our children to the colonist school, right?
Correct.
When we say on the flip side, so the flip side is people can be sucked in on TikTok, Instagram. They can be sucked in. They can be caught up. This is a tool for us, right? And as the world is scaling up, right? As the brother mentioned, and Prophet Noble Drew said, we can't be a big nation, right? We're supposed to be industrial and evolve. So how can we get the people, like-minded people, together without arguing or saying, I don't have enough fiat to do X, Y, and Z, but I want to be with these brothers. I want to learn from these sisters. How can we move forward? Well, the metaverse let that happen, where it's not a financial or a struggle for you to actually interact with them. You feel me, on that side? The only negative that I see from the metaverse period, someone can be sucked in the metaverse, right? Just like on Instagram, just like on TikTok. But the other downfall is the whole world is scaling up, right? The downside of it, you're gonna have to be just like you everybody has a social media, you're gonna have to be in a metaverse. That's the flip side of not getting in the metaverse. You feel me? The other flip side of it, you have an opportunity to learn what the tool is, right? You have to also have the technology to increase your knowledge. And whatever the currency is in the future, you have an opportunity to get into the know and practice that and plug yourself into a digital economic now. Because you're going to be forced to pick a metaverse to exchange to do business, school, or finance. You're going to have to go in the future. The robots are already here. I don't want our children to be competing with robots. But if you don't have a company, right, to fix the robots, and you're not studying the robots, right? And you're not servicing the robots in the future, then you're going to be by the wayside. We're not telling you to actually try to fit in, but it's a tool and a skill going forward that our children is going to be born in. So if you don't get in any metaverse, right? Any metaverse and learn what it is, you're setting the generation up that's going to be born in it, that's already born in it with the video game called Roblox and Fortnite. They already into it. They already into it. Chinese students go to school, right? They go to school for 6 days for 10 hours a day, and they have the facial recognition. They're building chips. They already in the metaverse. They already using that to talk, to communicate, to go paperless. To guess what? These same children are building models of cars, computers, machines, everything inside the metaverse.
About the last 4 years, right? Past 4 years or so.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, it normally takes somebody going to school to get a doctorate degree a long time. Here you got this child can just scribble it up, right, with the metaverse and lessons they learning curve. So if you don't be a part of any metaverse, you
must have hit a patch there. Can everybody?
Can you hear?
Are we still hearing?
Can you hear me?
Can y'all still hear me?
You guys are good. You guys are good.
Okay, so as a nation, if we as a nation, a group of people, and talented people, not just the Moors, because this is a micro community. So we want to have a collection of people. Well, guess what? In the MetaVerse-5, we already gonna have that connection. Is the world is already gonna be organized within a metaverse. So on the flip side, if you don't partake in the metaverse, you see the movies where people be in the street and they be sad and they can't take care of themselves. It's gonna be like that. So on the bad side, that's what's gonna happen. And on the other flip side, they're gonna have people that just sucked in. You know what I mean?
My beloved brothers in whom I'm well pleased. One moment, I just want to bring some order to what we're doing. Maybe we have Brother Dunell impart his wisdom first, and then I have 2 questions back to back that I think that I'm confident in Brother Amazight, Brother Jacob, and Brother Dunell giving their wisdom on. So, Brother Dunell, can you impart your wisdom?
Islam. Much respect to you, Brother Hasan.
Islam.
The focal point of everything that Brother Amazight had delivered, I just wanted to build on that to show the full circle where Brother Hasan shared with us the fact that intent was important, and then the knowledge base and understanding where we already knew that the intent of the Board of Education was not to teach our children. We already knew that. And we have the physical examples before us, people suffering and suffering for lack of knowledge. So they're not getting it. So here we have the chance to make sure that they get it, and they get it in degrees that they can digest it. And that's very important. And so here we create our own. As far as can we get people to believe in? No, we need them to fruit in. You understand? Go beyond belief. Hands on. Touch and see. Because the same faith you put in that debt note, how do you know when you go to the bank that they're going to deliver? Haven't we seen that happen where they didn't?
Russia right now.
People have been metaversing their whole life. It just hasn't been called metaverse. They've been metaversing their whole life when they think that they're going out there to have some things for themselves and their family, and they have to use a social security number. That is not you. That is an avatar. You think you have to use a birth certificate. That is not you. That is an avatar. Right. So what I would also like to add to that, I get why, because I do know I've known Brother Asar over the years. So I get why he's asking the questions, how he's asking the questions. However, the actual full answer, without us even really saying it, is it's going to be for those that can handle it. Those that can't handle it are not going to be able to be allowed, not because people within the metaverse are saying so. It's the rapport, it's the energy and the mindset amongst those that are already participating, where someone who's not there is just not going to fit in. So it's almost like you're going to have to have been ready already type kind of energy. And if not, there will be things set in place for those that are coming up on an elementary bridge, so to speak. However, I'm not cutting off what the questions was. Let's just get to them, because the two back-to-back are from Brother Yusef Mutadi L and Senior Jackson Bey. All righty. So Brother Yusef Mutadi L asked, so I grow my own medical in my jurisdiction. It's quote unquote legal to do so. Could I set up my own medical dispensary on the metaverse? Sorry if my question is crazy. That's the first portion of the question, because I think this is what Senior Jackson Bey said right behind him. Yusef Mutadiel, that doesn't seem like a crazy question. Upon becoming a member, can I build a school/teach in the metaverse? So let's go there. People want to grow.
Okay.
And they have, you know what I mean, they can grow in the metaverse and then have it so that, you know, if my metaverse is a certificate that says I can do it in so-called reality here or whatever, then, you know, you're basically what Brother Yusef even said even further here, having a store without a SSI permit, etc. It's great to me. So it's like, why get permission from a third party? You're cutting out the middleman by using the NFT certificate, so to speak, as a means to attach to something in reality. Even though I know what Brother Asar is saying is this still fiat we're dealing with? Technically, yes, you're still dealing with blind faith with this. The only difference is you can control how to utilize the blind faith within a construct that's for Moors by Moors. I don't think, you know, we're making a metaverse so that we can fuck each other. I don't think we're making them, respectfully, I don't think we're making a metaverse so that we can rob one another.
I mean, but that is going on, for the record, though. That is going on.
Well, those are the people that need.
But when you, that is going on. But our metaverse, once again, the metaverse land. If you go research it right now, you just get a land. You get no parcel. You get no avatar. You get no means of selling. You have to buy a different package. Now, to answer the brother, yes, you can have an NFT. You can have a store. Right. So now you're taking off, you're not paying no light bill, no water bill. You just got to keep your product. Right. And that product, you have your own page saying, hey, I sell X, Y, and Z. If you want this hat or you want this product, you can buy NFT, right, to represent that product in the physical world and the digital world. And if you didn't know about NFTs is kind of like land in the real world. The longer you have it and it represents that, it grows in value, right? And it goes on a blockchain. And on a blockchain, it's like you copyrighting it or you getting a pattern. Whoever creates that is going to be a ledger, right? Saying that you own that. But with our NFTs, whatever you buy, right? Whatever you buy, what we do is we put your name, or your appellation or whatever your username and a receipt. We attach a receipt to it, right? So can't anybody hijack your NFT like they hack NFTs and cryptocurrency. Now it belongs to that person. So when it sells and transferred to another person, right? Guess what? It is accurate because it shows it came from that person along with the ledger, right? And on top of that, if you want to give your people royalties on that NFT, right? Royalties, interest, or when they sell it to the secondary party, you can have value to that. You can fundraise with it, whatever. You see what I'm saying? So it can represent the physical and the digital asset. So guess what? Technically, you getting two paychecks. Technically,
I think
you feel brother, me, and it's hip.
Hold on, not to cut your wisdom, Brother Amazight, because you just inspired me and made me think. I think Brother Asar, and Brother Asar can correct me if I'm wrong. That I think another question is being asked because Brother Amazight, you gifted me, you know, with a cold wallet. You know what I mean? And I don't even really comprehend this cryptocurrency all the way that probably most of y'all do. I'm still a baby, but I know what I do know and keep studying.
You need to call me then, bro.
So I treat it now.
You know I fucks with you, bro. You need to call me, man.
So look, here's the thing, because Brother Amazight treated me to a Ledger Nano X, right? So I have a cold wallet to put crypto on a cold wallet if I had to. So my question would be, I guess I hear what Brother Asar saying also, hey, can I, if I got an NFT parcel in the metaverse, can I, take it off the hotness or hot portion of it and store it in a cold wallet? That's another thing I'm hearing being asked or whatever. Or I'm pretty sure there's other.
Yeah, you can store. We recommend you do that. You can store. It's an NFT like anything else. You can take it off the web and put it in the cold wallet and store it. You can do the same thing. The only thing about our NFT, you don't have to go get cryptocurrency. If you got a PayPal, credit card, or debit card on MetaVerse-5, the website, and inside the metaverse, it's just like that. You can spend fiat. You don't have to, get crypto. And if you're not familiar, or the process in any other metaverse, you have to take your fiat or your credit card. You have to upload it to a exchange. Okay, and you buy cryptocurrency. Depends on what platform. You might have to swap that cryptocurrency for another cryptocurrency, right? And then you have to buy on that particular metaverse. In our metaverse, you don't have to go and buy cryptocurrency. We also have our own M5 coin, but you can use your debit card, PayPal, or credit card. And also, if all you do is do your due diligence and go look up and Google Metaverse Digital Land. You only get the land, and it start off at $13,000 to $15,000 in Federal Reserve notes. That's just the land. No building, no avatar, no special, no bells. It's just like you just brought a piece of land in the real world, right? And that's all you get. You got to build your house. In our metaverse, you come with the land, you come with the house, you come with the avatar, and you come with the clothes and the furniture and everything to fund that, right? To create all that for just 500 Federal Reserve notes, whether you buy it, you buy it straight out or you get on a payment plan. So we made it real simple, because guess what? When I did it, right, I was like, damn, I need to get this cryptocurrency. A lot of the banks, they don't even deal with that. You feel me? So you got to go to exchange. You got to get this card. It's kind of like Taj be like, you got to go run over this guy and hump these loops. Then you get your cryptocurrency. Then you do it's just straightforward. And it's only 500 Federal Reserve notes. So
for the record,
you can open the store.
For the record, right quick, that what you just explained happens on the centralized side. Now, if you know how to operate, decentralized, you won't have to go through all that red tape with the banks and stuff like that. You should be able to convert and cash out with no problem.
Right, you can, but the average person don't even know that. Okay. You are correct, but the average person that said, hey, I want to get in, and then they realize, when they go to these other sites, they be like, well, damn, how do I get the crypto to buy the stuff on the site?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you go to it's like a video game. If everybody play, video games got their own token. You just swipe your card and you get whatever feature you want to buy. On ours, it's the same process, plug and play, and it's not cost effective. Right. You know what I'm saying? We worried about the micro community, right? Because we are not only want to deal with Moors, we want to deal with everybody in the world. So we're gonna have Chinese people, we're gonna have just artists, we're gonna have people automated, we're gonna have people that do computers, people that cut grass, people that do hair in their own micro community, people that sing, gospel people, whoever, people that like Dragon Ball, you know what I'm saying, with their own micro community. You see what I'm saying? So everything is going to be lined up and it's unlimited, but it's a plug and play. And especially if you own a business and you got a website, you might as well go in the metaverse, right, and create your digital product of your physical product. Now you have two means, right? Two means of the same product. And also people that deal in the metaverse, they want a NFT that represent a real product. for bragging rights. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this, you know, that's what they're into. But going forward, these people already have this system, and everybody's scaling up. I mean, all the countries right now, Russia had to switch to a digital currency because of the situation. They people right now can't get money out the bank. You know what they're doing? They're in the metaverse with cryptocurrency, like, we good. You know what I'm saying? So whatever the means of exchange going forward is gonna be digital. No matter what you think. They got flying cars right now. They got robots in restaurants. Pizza Hut got 100 drones delivering pizza. You know, that's why they started with the Instacart. They started with the Walmart coming to your house. They're getting you prepared for that. Like back in the day, they had two ways. Then they got the cell phone. They got the flip phone. Now we got the face. So with the metaverse, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to be regular website. You're going to have to go in the metaverse to interact with these businesses and conduct business. So it's going to be practical. So if you get in now, right, it's a benefit because we always late and tardy to the party. Also, it has a benefit to us to practice real life scenario. And now as Moors, I'm just speaking on the Moors, right? We can have a conversation with the world. I did a piece on C-SPAN, and I wanted to have a conversation, and I still do. Now we can have that conversation with other nations, other nationals. You know what I'm saying? In a real time situation.
Stop right there, Brother Amazight, because there is a question, and I just wanted to use what you just said right there as a means to segue to it. Zephaniah Bey thinks that the school idea, just to go back a little bit, is great. However, there's a Uncle Buzz 7 that has posed a question in the chat on YouTube. Says, I think it's supposed to be once a member of one metaverse, can you deal in different metaverse platforms? Do NFTs hold value across different metaverses? And I yield.
Okay, to answer that question, right? When we say metaverse, that's the name of the metaverse. None of the metaverse are connected right now. They are independent virtual worlds. Once these all these metaverses, right? All these virtual worlds are building communities right now. They're building communities. Once that get up the part, all of these metaverses are going to be able to communicate, and one metaverse, you can go to another metaverse. So if you're a metaverse person, yeah, you want to be versed in different metaverses. So just because you're in this metaverse, that's like whatever you do in this metaverse, we has nothing to do with the other metaverse. So yes, you can join another metaverse. You know, I'm in another metaverse. I get people to come to MetaVerse-5. So to answer that question, yes, and the NFT does have value. But when the metaverses be able to communicate, right? You're going to be able to go to one metaverse with your NFT avatar to another metaverse. It's not going to look the same because it's different platform. Like I can't go to Roblox and expect to go to Decentraland. Well, actually you can. Well, yeah, Decentraland or go to Disneyland, and to expect my avatar to look the same. It's going to have a likeness, right? It's going to have I'm being real practical. It's going to have a likeness of what it is, but you know, when it pixelate and transfer over, it's going to be different. So yes, NFTs have value, but you have to give that NFT value. You know what I'm saying? You have to, if you don't have that NFT value, it's going to be a value that you, whenever you brought it and what it is and what platform it utilized, right? But if you don't promote your NFT, and if you're not in the micro community, right, and the economy and setting yourself up for it, then it has value, but the value won't grow. Put it like that. But by you being in the MetaVerse-5, and it is a trust, it's going to be very valuable. And I don't want to go long-winded on the trust part about it, but every parcel member is a trustee. So you technically are part of the whole MetaVerse-5. You're a trustee and a beneficiary.
Now, let me ask this. Now, let me just put that out there. I thank you very much, Brother Amazight. I mean, because like I said, you've been definitely in my perspective, you've been spearheading this thing as far as because I'm not there like you know, like you are with Brother Hakim or Brother Jacob or Brother Dunn. And by the way, Brother Jacob, I see your mic's unmuted. Did you want to impart some wisdom also, brother? I'm pretty sure you wanted to.
I'm just waiting for some questions out there. And Brother Amazight hitting it. And just to add on to what he was saying.
yeah, brother. You did a good job breaking it down.
And this we've been here before. You know, it was people that was when the internet, what they refer to as the Web 2, what we making a transition out of now. You know, Facebook, social media. We was at a point here before where people was like, "What's it gonna be like?" Now it's the norm. So, you know, now we seeing it again. But again, like I said, we got an opportunity to be in front of the curve. You know, be in front of the pack, not like get on it late and then we don't really benefit from it. You know what I'm saying, on a social economical level. So I just wanted to add that.
Islam, like the thing that I could see, like, you know, I know we might have watched movies like Surrogates and The Matrix, and people who have these like in the movie Surrogates, people have this pod that they're sitting in their living room, and they're just living their life as this younger image of themselves in this you know, virtual reality and Surrogates or whatever. But then there are these older people, probably heavier set or whatever, you know, outside or whatever. But what I'm thinking is actually happening here, because we are the ancient foremothers and forefathers returned. So if we go back and just think about, you know, savior of humanity, when Prophet Noble Drew Ali is stating right in the beginning, in this electrifying age, right? And now you got to think that's back in the 20s. He's saying this stuff because things were electrified at the World Fair in Chicago in the 1880s. So let's not, you know, if I'm not mistaken, that's when it went down, unless I'm a little off. But it's just like what I'm really getting to on that is we have the mindset to, okay, I'll do it like this. Okay, Brother Sar, you know why none of my Apple devices have iMovie on them anymore? Any Apple device that I have does not have iMovie on it. Do you know why? I'm really willing to share why. Here we go. The reason why, all righty, y'all can hear me, right? Make sure everybody hear me. All right. The reason why none of my Apple devices, from my iPad here that I'm actually pointing to, and my phone that I'm monitoring everyone's questions on, is because you know what I did with my intentions with an iPhone? I made Astrology Street. I'm not being arrogant, and I'm not pumping myself up. I want you to really hear what I just said, why there's no more iMovie on my phone. There's no more iMovie on my phone because maybe the developers of iPhone didn't count on me teaching that way with my camera and stuff, and then making video on a phone with puppets that I made. All righty. So my question was to you, Brother Asar. My question to you was,
okay,
why is there no iMovie on my iPhone or iPad anymore? Oh, they just discontinued iMovie. Okay, real coincidental. Right after Astrology Street. This is the flip side of that. You know how somebody be like, damn, what could be the cons of this shit or the negatives of this shit? How about you do so great with something, motherfuckers be like, no, stop iMovie. Give them something else. I'm telling you. What happens when somebody thinks that great? What happens when someone is seeking the divine so much that to have these other things added on to you actually becomes where people are like, all right, man, we got to outthink these people because we was hoping they was going to be looking at some ass clapping and titty pushing up-ins. They are teaching with puppets. They're teaching astrology. Oh my God. No, they're being civilized. We was hoping that they would be fucking animals. Why are they not getting wards like we planned? Shit. I think that's what's happening. Pardon my expression.
But you're so awesome.
But that's the flip side.
True. That is
yeah.
And
see, I can appreciate that, bro.
Islam.
Islam.
Just to build on that and show you how you know, the same way that you read stuff, the same way you think stuff, the same way you share stuff, it's just so ancient wise, spiritually connected. It's just awesome because, you know, I always tell my folks that people got things that are ours and don't know what to do with it. The hammer hitting people in the head. No, that's not what the hammer is for in our world. So we go back to intent as well. And yes, they said, let me pull this out, but they didn't know that, you know, it wasn't exclusive to them or for them. And that was peace. I thank you for that.
Islam. Any other questions, comments, and those? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was asking any more questions.
Yeah, I mean, guys, we probably could wrap it up. The chat looks well. Hey, guys in the chat, all of you guys, let me just run it back. Zephaniah, Uncle Buzz, Senior Jackson Bay, Brother Solomon, William, Brother Youssef. Who else do we got in here? I know, shout out to Grand Sheik Cujo Audible L, Brother Asar. Thank you for joining us. Who else was here? Clever Cayenne was here, right?
But we want to be clear though that it is for the Moors. It is by Moors, but everybody's welcome to the MetaVerse-5. We want micro communities. We want nations. We want everybody to come. We want everybody to come to MetaVerse-5. You know, let's get that. If you melanated, hey, come here. You know, if you got a church group, hey, come bring your church group in the MetaVerse-5. We don't discriminate. It's just it's for Moors, it's for the universe, it's for Chinese people, it's for Russian people, it's for Iranian people, it's for Palestinian people. It just so happened that the Asiatics, we have our own MetaVerse-5. Whatever they have, we need to have something to represent that. Not because we want to keep up with them, because everything is ours. And guess what? Prophet Noble Ali said, I gave you enough to save a nation. Go save yourself. And he said, don't be a begging nation. And he said, in order to change the people, you must change the literature, right? So we not only supposed to know about the law, the history, the spiritual side, the national side, the divine side, we must know 720 of everything, because everything is everything. But if we're a nation, right, we have one fundamental truth that we're a nation, but there's other nations on the planet too, right? But the melanated people, we need to start operate in love, right? And stop complaining when there's solutions in real life. Now we can have a conversation with all the people on the planet. Not just people that look like us. We can have a conversation and sit down and be like, what's wrong with y'all guys? Who is protecting the trees, the animals? Why are we not having say so on this planet, on this universe of what's going on? You see what I'm saying? Now we can have a conversation, and we could be the example that we want to see. So other nations that want to come here and make a micro community, hey, be a part of people that has a metaverse that wants fallen humanity to actually win, right, on our side. We're not worrying about the bad people, the crazy people. We're a group of micro communities within this metaverse that wants to do great. The attention is great. It's honorable. We have a screening process. So it's not going to be people that's just doing weird things. We are the movers and the shakers, right? So if you got any talent, any business, this where you need to be. You know, this is the think tank of the 23rd century moving forward. And guess what? Your children is going to benefit from this. Your children are going to get a leg up, because guess what? Other individuals that's outside the America, wherever you at in the country, they have the advantage. This right here close the educational and economic and social disadvantage to all the people around the world that's facing that same thing.
Indeed. Hey, you the Amazight, that's you, brother, that was just talking?
Yeah, that's me, brother. How you doing?
Hey, bro, like I want to share, I share this with all you brothers, man. Hey, that crypto, I remember when I first got into it, bro, you know what I thought about? Exactly what your sentiments are about Meta-5. You know what I'm saying? Especially involving the children. Like I got my son, who's 11, and he just caught me last week asking about the XRP ledger. Because I've been teaching him and showing him. Because you know what, brother? This is what prompted him to want to get into it, because I told him I was into it, right? So of course the terminology is foreign to him and stuff like that. So he said, "What is that, Dad?" I said, "It's crypto, man." I said, you know how you come ask me for money to go get your roadblocks and all that? I said, if you learn how to do this, you can go get that stuff on your own. You get your own roadblocks points and do whatever else you need. And that's where it started for him. That's where it started for him. And bro, like, yes, just not even a week ago, he called me asking me about the XRP ledger, bro.
Well, you know why though, right? Roblox is setting it up like they're being competitive, like they have robot coins. But what I'm saying is Roblox is like, remember the flip phone? Remember I went to the analogy with the flip phone, now we got FaceTime?
Yeah.
The Roblox is introducing the children to the NFT and the currency. They've been doing it, bro. So that's why I say the children already know how to go. They already go with it. Any child right now they already go. They on the go with it. They get it.
Yeah, and that's why I used that analogy, and I told him that, because I know that. You see what I'm saying? I know exactly what you're talking about, and that's why I said, well, okay, with that Roblox, you want them Robux and stuff, I can teach you this, and you can make your own and get your own as many Robux as you want.
They got an economic community in there.
Let me add to y'all wisdom. Not to cut your wisdom, I do want to add to it, because I do see how the flow is going in the conversation, but may I impart here for a moment? So pardon my interjection. It is the equivalent, like you're saying, how nephew asking you about the XRP, it's equivalent to when Amazight is saying the children are already in tune with the crypto, like how we knew how to program the blinking time on a Betamax VCR when we were younger. All right, so that's one thing. Yeah, because remember, we're late 70s and I'm early 80s babies here. You know what I mean? So most of us. However, what we're doing here is called awareness. All righty. So what we're really doing is the awareness pertaining to metaverse, awareness pertaining to math-based currency termed cryptocurrency. And ultimately, I think people need to look at it, even though it's for Moors, by Moors, particularly MetaVerse-5, formerly known as Matrix 5, right? The actual thing that is actually happening here right now, all righty, when it comes to, all right, MetaVerse-5, all right, it's no different than the YMCA. It's which is Young Men's Christian Association. It's no different than JCC, the Jewish Community Center. What it is the Jewish Community Center. You can check one anywhere you guys are located. It's probably a boatload of them around you in the zone improvement plan codes, what they call zip code areas that are predominantly Ashkenazi, right? So, or Khazarian, so to speak. I will not call them Jewish, but however, and I'm being actually. The Jewish Community Center, even though it's for the members of the synagogue, by the members of the synagogue, they'll still allow other people in the neighborhood to be a part of the festivities and take advantage of the amenities provided at the Jewish Community Center. However, if you're not a member of the synagogue, you will not be able to participate in synagogue members only events. Did I say that properly without offending anyone?
You did, as always, brother. Pretty good with that. I've always admired that about you. So you won't.
Well, all the praises due to balance. I just want to make sure I'm clear for me first, and then all right, let me make sure I'm sharing my experience of how I'm taking it in to make sure I'm not just being an idiot about it. Like, oh, hold on, I might got the wrong concept. You know, I'm all about concept correction. So I thank you for your kind words, brother.
Well, yeah, it's the same thing. It's like like they got a different nationality that own the American what it is this famous bank? I think it's ABC Bank. Well, anyway, they got a different nationality that own a bank. A lot of people don't know that a certain nationality owns this particular bank, but anybody can go to the bank. You know what I mean? Anybody can go, but a certain nationality own it. So what we saying is we have our own, and we are ahead of the game. There's no other and we're honorable, and it's complex with it, right? And it's cost effective. We're not in it for the fiat. We in it to uplift fallen humanity as a whole. And this is a tool, you know what I mean, to bridge a lot of gaps for humanity, to bridge a lot of gaps. You know, you can actually create, right? You can create, because in the physical world, you might get shinned, blackmailed, balled, or whatever. Here in a micro community, if you're not into that, you can go to another community that's into that. You see what I'm saying? And you can be yourself and be around these individuals, right? And brainstorm with these individuals, how complex or how simple you want to be. That's why we said micro communities. And it's going to be the same like the world used to be when everybody got together. You know what I'm saying? You only paid for luxury stuff in ancient time. Everything else was just there. You know what I'm saying? And government actually took care of the people, protected the people. The only thing was like luxury. So if you want like you want some luxury recreational drugs, okay, you have to pay for that. But hey, there's a tree. Hey, come on, have it. You know what I mean? I'll go, since you let me get your tree and I got the seeds, I'm gonna go plant it in my backyard. And if you want to come over, you can come over. You know what I mean? And it was peaceful, homie, with the animals. We shared that. You know what I'm saying? As a human family, you know. So forget the bad guys, man. You know what I'm saying? You actually got honorable people that has the technology, and it's going to spark on to everything. Then everybody's going to come together and be like, whoa, that makes sense. Okay, Lord, I want to work with that nation. Now we don't have to work around. Oh, I want to work with that community. That's an artist community. You know what I'm saying? So hey, maybe I get some sponsor. Maybe I can go over there. You know, learn from them. I can collab with them. Turn it to the NFT. I don't need a middleman or somebody telling me, hey, I can't do this. You know what I mean? Hey, I actually can do this. You know, unregulated. You know, because you're regulated by the people. You run your community. You have a vote. So it's basically teaching the world how to be civilized, right? By having micro communities, and we don't have to, and it transcend out the world. So this problem with the young folks is going to be solved, right? Because they're going to know how to handle themselves. And the people that's not down with that, the planet is going to deal with that, or they're going to fight amongst each other. They have an opportunity to change, but guess what? This is going to change the whole vibe, right? Because people are going to learn how to be civilized, courteous, and guess what? First of all, they're going to know how to love each other, period, by having a micro community. Islam.
Well, guys, we're coming up. It's funny. It's 2012 right now, right? 8:12 p.m. Post Meridian Eastern, but 2000 hours and 12 minutes. So guys, this has been a really, really awesome presentation. I'd like to again thank our special guests, Brother Amazight Bey, for bringing on also another special guest and two other special guests also. We're all really magnificent brothers in my heart of hearts because I comprehend the instructions in the prescription given by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So I'd like to not only thank Brother Amazight Bey and Brother Hakim Bey, Brother Morpheus L. We're also calling Brother Hakim Bey. I would also like to thank Brothers Dunn L and Brother Jacob also for coming in support of Brother Amazight, as well as Brother Hakim, which is ultimately in support of all of us, because like it says, ex pluribus unum is really the full term, even though the e dot pluribus unum, one out of many, or many out of many one, it also just speaks to when one speaks, all speaks, and when all speaks, one speaks. So when we're all here in foundational principle, in sincerity, we're actually all just being diverse manifestations pertaining to one soul. The all is mine. All righty. So with that being said, y'all, I would like to thank you all. Everyone in the chat, you guys are just phenomenal, man. I mean, this chat was when I say poised, civilized, all of the above. Brother Hasan Bey, I know he's all the way out there near the Alaska State Republic. You know what I mean? He's just still in tune, no matter how, he's done a lot of traveling across the land and still in tune. You know what I mean, as far as staying on principle. So I can see no matter where we are on the land, no matter where we go, we never forget that divine cord, that golden cord that binds us all within, and that is love. Yes. That is that golden cord that binds us all. So it's great to see. Any last comments, questions, or suggestions? Going once? Going twice?
I just wanted to say thank you for having me on your panel, Brother Hasan. Brother Amazight, appreciate that breakdown of that info,
hey, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man. Hey, man.
I just wanted to just applaud you too, brother, on your attitude and the way, that you took the time out to even go through all of that, just for, even in the face of opposition.
Nah, I mean, bro, it's no worries, bro. We over here, man. All the brothers and sisters that we communicate on this end, we all do our due diligence and be an honor, man.
Yeah, because Brother Hasan can bear witness to this as well. I'm there now, and there was once upon a time I wasn't, and that's why I say I applaud you. And so when I see that effort made by other people, it speaks to my heart. So much.
Oh man, that's deep, man. Hey, peace more. Islam.
Let's just take that as Brother Asar saying that when he's saying that he's thankful for people being patient with his maturation, he's also saying we are really here to learn to love instead of hate.
Exactly, man. You know what I'm saying? Like hey, bro, whoever perfect, cast the first stone. Cast the first stone.
Indeed. All right, beloved brothers.
And just for the full circle of it is, we are here sharing the opportunity that we have to share the 5 principles everywhere and anywhere we go, which also means our Meta-5 communities, and to make sure our children get them. The 5 principles is again, the first is the golden cord. The rest is all the justice that's come because of it. Islam.
And with that being said, we love you all, and we thank you for joining us, those that are here with us live and those that will catch the archive later. You all enjoy your evening, rest and recharge well, and have a graceful and productive cycle. All righty, you all. Namaste. Islam.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace and love, one and all.